And here we are, final series, and this is the grand final then of Titans League Season 3. For many people, they could have maybe called this at the start of the season. This is the same final that we had in Season 2. Viper was able to get the win last season, but feels like Hera has grown even more as a player, and the map pool could possibly be a bit better for him this season. So we've got Viper as the Bohemians in his famous yellow, and we've got Hera playing as the Humans in the blue. Dave, we just talked about it. Humans are insane on this map.
Yeah, Humans are crazy. They get that second TC, and it feels like they're not too far to Castle Age a lot of the times as well.
Yep.
If they get a good start, right? If they manage to push in all their deer and whatnot. Actually, like, deer positions do start to matter with them, and it looks like Hera has a relatively easy push, and he's not even going to hold the gate open or any of that garbage there. But he's going to try and get up super quick and then try and go for that TC. I think an important thing with Humans is looking at where their stone is. And like how they can be pushed in early Castle Age, whether they can defend against that. And Hera's stone is actually in a decent spot at the very back of his base here. So Viper's going to struggle to take that out.
Yeah, agreed. And I think any type of pressure that you realistically do against the Humans, it's not going to be in time to really influence when they're taking berries. So I think Hera's berry position, I mean, if Viper feudal age tower rushes, then okay, maybe Hera loses that, but I don't think that's a viable strategy here because the Humans would just get too big of a lead. So, well, this is the same matchup that Viper had in the group stage against Classic Pro, and it produced a really good game where Classic Pro went 2 TCs with Humans, and I was super pumped to see Viper go for the Hussite Wagon. So he went for a couple spears to be able to walk forward to protect his villagers, and then he dropped a forward castle, and the Hussite Wagon just roamed underneath Classic Pro's TCs. They've got greater accuracy now. They've got like 200 HP in Castle Age. And it just killed like 20, 30 villagers. So now I think that Hera, though, should have the knowledge that that's a thing now. He saw the game, I assume. We did, right? Casters did. And also, there's been a lot more discussions recently on Hussite Wagons. So I don't think Hera's going to be completely clueless on how to potentially deal with that if that's what Viper goes for here.
I mean, there's not a ton of options, right? If your Civ has Redemption, you can go for that, but it takes a long time to get into it, and you need a safe gold supply. If you're going Mangonels, they're not quite as effective as they used to be because they died in like 3 shots from the Hussite Wagons. And if you're going into Knights, well, you're going to need a good food eco for that. And it's hard to get a good food eco when Hussite Wagons are literally under your TC, sniping your villagers trying to farm, right? So it's very, very difficult. I don't know what the optimal solution is past maybe like fortified wall tech from the university.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think a combination of Mangonel hits with melee damage is helpful. The tricky thing is, like, Knights actually do decent damage against them. The tricky damage is you're up against a Civ that gets all the mining upgrades for free. So, like, it is very natural for someone in the Bohemian shoes to just add monks as well. But yeah, like, Scouts do, like, a lot more damage than you would think. It's just such a weird unit, honestly. But look at this. Hera's on gold here.
Yeah, I think that's just his second Dark Age building because he doesn't want to make the mill.
It could be. But he has to make the mill to farm.
I think it's going to be, he's just going to take that gold with 1 villager, and then when he has 200, he pulls it away, maybe.
Could also be that he feels like there's no way that he loses if he stops Viper's Castle from being on the front.
Maybe.
And so he might want to go, like, even just 1 range, 2 archers first, and then go for the TC later and switch the order. Because what Classic Pro had tried is he was on the TCs, he had the Vill lead, he had archers, but he only had 2 archers. And Viper's 10 villagers completed the castle, no problem. So, yeah, Hera's going to drop the barracks here. Yeah, he's definitely going to switch it up here.
Damn, dude. That's kind of crazy. But, I mean, I don't mind it. If he pressures a lot, we might see something like Tato does all the time on close maps with Humans, where he just stays in feudal age forever. And is constantly keeping his opponent at home. And even if they get a castle there, he's got the second TC behind producing the villagers, right? So he's going to have the advantage. And then eventually he'll get up with like 20, 30 villager advantage and an army in the center of the field.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just like, it's so tricky because on one hand, you want to say, take advantage of your bonuses, right? Make that second TC, get to it. But on the other hand, it's like, Well, if you do that, sometimes you're so exposed, you just lose full map control. So what I like about this is Cumin, the archer range is only 100 wood. He could still build that TC here in a second.
Yeah.
And Viper is not going to expect this because humans are just so predictable in going for the second TC.
And he's keeping his scout at home, so he's not going to see anything.
Yeah,
basically. Yep. Like, he's keeping it at home because he's still in Dark Age, right? He's trying to go up to Castle Age, probably get the castle or whatever type of push he's going to go for. And he might not see these archers until it's too late and his villagers are moving around. It would be hilarious if for some reason he went around the other way. Hera didn't see him at all, and there's the second TC for Hera. So he goes for the archer range first, 3 bills on gold to keep up archer production, and then he goes for that second TC anyway.
Yeah, but he forgot a crucial step here, Dave. He forgot a crucial step. He wants to farm. He hasn't placed a mill.
He's going to have no food.
He has no mill. He's not going to have any food. This is huge.
He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. I have faith. He'll figure it out.
Oh,
somehow.
he'll figure it out.
He's going out to the mill.
Oh,
now.
he's 100% going to figure it out. Yeah, there you go. He's dropping the mill. It seems as though that was planned. We're gonna assume that was planned timing from him. But he's really waiting, dude. He's really waiting with those archers.
This is a build you can lab out, right? So if he was going to play against the computer or something, he doesn't even need a real opponent to lab this build out.
Yep.
And right now it looks like the timings are kind of going to work. But he definitely needs to get some farms down sooner rather than later because that second TC is going to come up. And there's the farms right there. And he should be fine, Tristan.
Yeah. Now, here's where it sucks potentially for Hera. Viper's not on stone. Viper's not going forward castle. If Viper's going forward
Mega
castle,
boom?
this is amazing. But if Viper's just going fast castle and he's just booming, then you've just delayed your own boom, expecting Viper to come forward. So we've got Omega mind games here to start the final.
And this was like the usual response to the Cumin 2TC boom, right? Or the old response, rather. Don't go for aggression a lot of the time. Try and get up to Castle Age as fast as you can, and then try and go for additional TCs and then catch up to them that way. Kind of figured out that a lot of the times that doesn't work more often than not because the Cumins are so far ahead. But if your opponent is just adding archers, it definitely can, it feels like.
Yeah, I think what Viper's... Like, if not going to stone, Viper could just go for Spearman and Siege as an offensive presence. But, you know, Hera, as of yet, has not been able to use the archers. And his idle TC time isn't too bad, but he only has a 5 villager lead instead of like a 10 or 15 at this point.
Oh, it'll get there.
Dude, he is there for sure. He is just waiting. Look at that scout. He's like, please, 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 please send your bills. Send your villagers. I give credit, a lot of credit to Hera here, obviously, for thinking of what Viper might do against him and what Viper did in the past. Like, that's what you want to see. And we've been critical this season of you know, some weaker players who didn't put themselves in a position to succeed by not preparing. But he's prepared.
You know what you do right now if you're Hera? Siege Workshop, Ram, go in.
Maybe you have the blacksmith. Seriously, you have the blacksmith, so you don't need anything to build.
You can stick the archers in the ram and just roam around in the base.
Just roam around, take them for a ride. Wow, this is crazy to me. Like, this is a wild risk from Viper as well, right? Like, is this a triple, quadruple mind game where he knows that Hera would have seen what he did before, and so he's expecting Hera to go for something, so he's not going to go for it, and then, I mean... Because, like, you know what we'd be saying if Hera didn't add this range, and he just went straight 2 TCs. We'd be like, you need to apply pressure to the humans. Crazy stuff.
And now Hera's leaving with the archers. He's like, I've made a mistake. And look, he's looking. He's like, maybe they snuck around on me.
Yeah.
Like, I see the scout coming out this way. I don't want him to see my archers. I don't want him to see my archers. And Viper doesn't see the archers. He misses the archers by a tile. Oh, man.
Yeah, so the Vil count should even out eventually. Viper also working with Castle Age eco upgrades, and this is going to put a lot more pressure on Hera now. Viper happy to sit at home, and what's kind of interesting about this is when you're going with the 2 TC boom, your score goes up like crazy because of the eco.
Yeah.
But your score also went up like crazy here if you're Hera because of
there's no way to know.
The military.
There's no way to know if you're Viper.
Yeah, exactly. There's no indicators really from Viper's side.
Scout is coming back from Viper. He might see it. I mean, by the time he does, the archers are probably going to be at his wall, but...
Yep.
Damn, dude. Hera's confused, but Hera's still in a really good position. I mean, he's
Viper
still
sees the archers.
13 villagers ahead.
Viper sees the archers, and now Viper's probably like, oh, that's so good for me. Yeah, Hera's still in a good spot, I agree. He's got to click up. Viper's going to add the Siege Workshop. And Viper he researched Fervor really early, which affects the Bohemian villagers, so the villagers are very fast now. And he is actually building up on stone, too. So I think Viper might have looked at his other approach in the past and said, dropping it in feudal age with low eco is bad. I want to drop it later. He could still do that if he advances forward with Siege.
He could also just send the villagers over to the right side and hope that Hera doesn't find him because all the army is here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just make it
but
messy.
I think it's better to probably play safe against a player like Hera if you know you've already got the strategy advantage.
Yep. Agreed.
You just stay at home and start making those Hussite wagons.
Well, Hera just saw the Siege Workshop. So I think for Viper, while there is a temptation to go forward here, Hera is going to be in a good spot to add a stable, add a couple extra scouts. So I honestly think staying home might be Viper's decision here. But I'm loving the variation of strategy to start off the series here. And worth mentioning, Nilly brought this up the other day. It's like, probably... I'm not sure if it's good or bad for their energy levels that Hideout is first, but I would say it's probably good because, like, a 7-hour slog and, like, Game 6 or Game 7 could just be so brutal for these guys. So at least they're fresh right now.
You're saying that this game is going 7 hours?
No. Maybe
Okay.
just 1.5.
I didn't know if you had any, like, insider information.
Yeah.
I might die if it goes 7 hours.
Okay, well, we hope it goes 6, and then you stay with us.
Okay.
Interesting. Hera, that's her first kill of the game. Hera able to get a kill there. And Viper's really tempted to convert this scout, I'm sure. But Hera's like, don't chase me too far here, buddy, because you're going to lose your monk. And Viper's trying to switch the conversions here. Oh my god, the mind games there. That's so good. And Hera wants to dive in for that monk. Behind this, Viper will have a castle, though. And it feels like the timing's just so perfect here for Viper. Hera's got to be careful. Scout gets away. Oh.
Nope.
Did he delete
Scout
that?
dies.
I missed it. I looked away for a second.
You know what? No, the scout died to the castle, but the trend right now is just to blame monks on everything, or everything on monks, rather. So, God, the monks are so OP.
It must be a monk. Oh, my God. They're so broken. Oh.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I think that will maybe get people... Listen, I think monks are strong, but maybe get some people to shut up a little bit about monks for a second. Let's see what happens in this series. The Viper is sending the wagons forward here. And he sees the Siege Workshop. Now, the Hussite wagons should be insane against the archers. And Hera's going to need to fight for map control because he has fallen behind in villagers here. Viper's little siege train coming forward. Hera's micro has to be on point right now.
Is this like cosmic justice after Hera made those videos ranking Hussite Wagon by far like the worst unit in the game?
I don't know what you want to call it, but it is
great attack round for Viper. Oh my god.
Sick attack round, and the unit was always strong. It's just only certain people knew, dude. And the devs buffed it too. The devs buffed it. Hera might have contributed to the fact that these things were buffed.
I think the problem with the unit is that people were trying to use it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Most likely, right?
Yep.
They were trying to, use it like they would a conquistador. That's not how it works.
It is crazy,
not
though,
how
right?
It works at all.
Because it can be helpful to mix in with other forms of army. But here against humans, we're seeing just the straight Hussites doing work. Now, I mentioned before that melee damage is actually pretty insane against these things. I don't think Viper knows that full light cap can kill it. So, because he hasn't encountered that yet in any of the games I've seen. Yep. Amazing eco lead, though, for Viper, and he's got full map control. And this is just the type of situation that Viper thrives in.
Yep. Let's see if he can see where the other relics are. He can't see the relic in the south. He can't see the one in the north as the archers come in. The Mangonel goes down. And the light cav goes down as well. But Viper now getting handcarts, so he's going to have this super speed and villagers. And this eco is going to fry.
And then he just adds barracks, and Bohemians have additional bonus damage against cav with their pikes.
Yep.
This is just so tough to stop right now. And Hera's under pressure. He was supposed to have the eco lead here. But because of his opening, he does not have the eco lead. He loses a light cap to a conversion. That one will frustrate him. And Viper's going to back these things away and hit and run as he goes. But you'll notice, like, the melee damage these things take is a lot higher than you would think for something this chunky. So I actually think that Viper's going to lose all these.
How much are they taking from the light cap? Like 8 damage per? It's like...
I don't know. 8-ish seem. I mean, I guess we could do the math on it. But
yeah, well, I was just trying to look at the values.
You got to consider the cost as well, right? Light cap's just food, and the wagons aren't cheap. So I think that's a big part of it. And at least in like the all-in situations, right now it feels like a combination of light cap and mangonels can do it. But light cap mangonel maybe not so good against pikemen.
Of course, Viper's just randomly at the north corner of the map with a monk picking up the relic from
of course
behind
he is.
Hera's base.
He might actually
just Viper things.
He might actually wander into Hera's vision.
No, he's just gonna walk right past the TC. He's gonna hold up the middle finger as his monk goes past. And
see you later.
Walk back to his base. Yeah.
See you later.
Oh, Hera's sending a Vil.
Yeah,
he's
dude.
Blocking him. He's blocking him.
And Viper noticed it. Wait, did that affect the pathing and send the monk back the other way?
Pathing. Yeah.
Whoa.
And the monk went back the other way.
Well, that monk was going to die one way or another. He's not the brightest if he decided to go that way.
Big fight over here,
yeah,
though.
big fight. And Hera hoping to use the mangonels here against the wagons. One of the mangonels is down. Hera's archers actually still really helpful here. And I think there's some level of concern here for Viper that he's not able to advance past his building here to get his castle up. And Viper will get the castle up, but honestly, well played from Hera to have enough of a force here to stop that forward castle from Viper. Because if that happens, he might be done.
Viper's going to have to wait for another one. But you look at his stone. I mean, he's got plenty of stone in the bank, right? Hera's still producing a mangonel there from that forward siege. I think he's just trying to delay this as long as possible. He's trying to get his eco under control. And he does have a villager lead, but look at the efficiency of Viper's economy. Handcart, second
80%.
farm upgrade, second wood upgrade, plus fervor.
Yeah, it's so
crazy.
Every eco upgrade imaginable, really, for Castle Age. And the only upgrade he'll be missing would be the Imp wood upgrade, and he's going to find himself on the way to Imp. And Hera picked this civilization, which has been so good on this map. He developed a strategy to stop Viper from doing what Viper did in the group stage. But Viper he kind of changed the order of things here, and it's worked brilliantly.
That's Age of Empires, right? You have this strategy in mind to completely counter the strategy that you think your opponent's going to go for, and they just revert back to something that most people were doing before.
Yep.
and then your counter is countered.
Yep.
Once again. So great job from Viper, and he's going to make his way to Imperial Age, and Hera is going to click up to Imperial Age as well with the castle right here. But look at those Hussite wagons just sitting underneath of that.
Yeah, good luck killing it. Good luck killing these things. Yeah, the accuracy was buffed, and they don't have minimum range, so villagers actually do a lot of damage against them as well.
Villagers do really well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which is also a surprise to me. But you're still using your economy against a unit with 11 attack. And Hera is going to lose about 10 or so villagers here. Viper's economy can afford to make more. And Viper is going to make even another castle here. Yep, another forward castle.
I think the beautiful thing about Hussite wagons is you don't really need to micro them. You just kind of like put them in a good spot.
Yeah, just place them. Let them do their thing. Let them cook.
Yeah, I think if you micro them, you're actually using them worse than if you just right click them. Like you can obviously run back like Viper's doing, but doing splits and whatnot is just not worth your time with these things.
And like
too slow.
It's a Castle Age unit. You know, this is just so tanky. And I'm feeling for Hera right now because he was like probably hyping it up in his mind. Like, I cannot wait to start the final with this ridiculous play that's just going to shock the world. But then Viper just straight up boomed. It was like, oh, it's just so tricky. I don't know what Hera does to stop this now.
I mean, the thing is, though, Tristan, Hera has 121 Vils. He's going to go into Light Cav and presumably Hussar spam. And, okay, there's the GG right there. I was just about to say, we've seen Hera come back from situations many times where we think he's dead, but not against Viper, not against a situation like this. Great job from Viper to kind of mix up the strategy that Hera thought he was going to go for. pulled the Uno reverse card, and that's game 1.
Yeah, seriously. And if you're curious, like on the depth of this, just please go watch Viper Classic Pro and watch what he did to Classic Pro and Hideout, because that had Viper tried that, Hera would have smacked him. It wouldn't have even been close. Hideout, a bit more of a closed, strategical map. Your openings matter a lot. There's a lot that's left in the dark. Viper gets the best of Hera here to start off the final. That said, rest of the maps, for the most part, players are going to be able to scout and make decisions based on what they're seeing. So not the 7-hour Hideout game, Dave. It was just a chill. How long was that? 32 minutes.
Yep.
That's been rare, and Viper is he's gonna be really happy about that one, because I feel like the strategical wins today are gonna need to be there for Viper.
Good macro for both of them. I think, look at their worker efficiency average, 66% over the entire game.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Honestly, pretty good. Viper especially doing a fantastic job with that. Really, really
wow.
Good.
All right, well, fun start to the final. And we'll have plenty more maps. Hera will look to respond on his choice of home maps. Here we are, game number 2. And speaking of picks that we might not expect, we've got Hera going for the poles here, Viper. So Hera has the poles, wants to bounce back and tie it up here. And he's on his home map, Spiral, a map he's played amazing on. And Viper also has played amazing on this map. He's gone for the Lithuanians, a civ that we've seen a lot more.
Yes.
Also,
and when I load in, I will talk more about it.
Yeah, sure, no worries. Also, when you do load in, look at Viper's lumber camp, and I apparently just called you Viper. I didn't even realize. But look at the lumber camp from Viper and appreciate the grass that is off the edge of the map. So it's just the most beautiful thing. But Hera, what he was able to do in his series against Yo was he was able to farm like a madman, and he took very low risk at times with his economy. He didn't even dock in his game against Yo. So I wonder if Hera feels like he could wall up around his starting TC and just farm like crazy with the poles here. I think that has to be the reason he's picked the poles. Lithuanians, you do start with additional food, so you don't need to send as much on food at the start. And Viper went to wood earlier so he can get the early dock up. This generation has the players very close to the water. And the expectation is Viper is probably going to want to go for a mix of water, spearmen, and scouts. I think Lithuanians are in many ways easier to play because of how fluid their start is. However, if Hera wants to play the full wall approach, there is a point where, like, if he's not taking damage, the poles do seem to be superior, and I can see Hera just already thinking about walls and then scouts and light cav.
Have we seen much of the poles on this map?
I think it's the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the first
time.
time.
Actually, no. Maybe once in, like, Gold League and maybe once in Platinum League. Because I do remember someone trying to fit a full work inside of that as we see the fight over the sheep and the cow here between Viper and Hera. And Viper's like, you shall not pass. And Hera's like, all right, bro.
Yeah, Viper knows his scout is stronger. He doesn't want to give Hera an opportunity to kill these. But then, well, now Hera has to make sure he doesn't lose the scout here. The scout HP is a really big deal here. And I think Hera recognizes that he's not going to get that food. And if he sticks around, he's going to lose his scout. Hera, what are we doing here, bro? You got to just give it up.
It's too late now. I think that scout is dead, unless maybe he's gotten himself enough room here. Viper should hunt this down, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that scout can get to the TC in time. Unless Hera knows some tricks that I'm not familiar with. Viper is going to scout.
It's weird sometimes, right? Because they're the same speed, and yet the scout behind always tends to close in a little bit. I don't never really fully understand that. Okay, Viper needs to make sure he doesn't lose the scout, and he dodges it. Whew.
That's wild that he got back. It was such a long distance there, but Hera managing to get back to the TC. Good job from him. Judges it correctly.
Oh my god, dude.
And
Hera doesn't see his boar. Hera does not see his boar. Hera does not see his boar, and Viper sees his scout. Hera needs to scout the right side of his base right now. He doesn't have his boar. He went for the sheep and the pigs on both sides.
There's a couple pigs there too as well, and he's running out of herdables underneath his TC. He's still got some food left on that cow, and obviously the berries too.
Yeah.
Is he's going to find these over here, but he has to be careful about Viper's scout over on this side. He doesn't know where it is.
Now
he
is hoping it's
going
there.
to find it. Yeah.
He's hoping it's there. He's assuming it's there. He's still missing it. Maybe he saw it, though?
No, he didn't. He definitely didn't.
Uh,
He's going to see it now. There it is.
Okay. Nice job from Hera. And he got his pigs in underneath his TC at the perfect time. So positive for Hera, obviously, is he found all of his food. He hasn't lost his scout. Viper behind this, walling up a little bit himself. And funny, actually, he's going to see his boar with a sheep on the left side. So I guess when you send your scout to both berry areas so early, it's really hard to find all your resources.
Yeah. Well, there was a classic example. I can't remember who it was, but one player didn't take their boar for the entirety of...
It was Ganji.
Feudal Age, right? Ganji, I think, took that in like Castle Age or something, and Viper still has a boar available to him that he hasn't taken. That seems like a more planned thing for him, though.
Yeah, you would assume that that's the case here. I mean, he's got 4 fishing ships. He has food underneath his TC, and he's got the 2 villagers on the shore fish here. So I think for Viper, he's going to be pretty content to just leave that.
Did
thing
Hera
for later.
really just push this deer all the way from the middle of the map, bro?
He's like,
get a life.
This scout is so damaged. This scout is so damaged. He's now retired, right? He's no longer a scout. He just gets to push in deer.
Yeah.
And then Hera should still use it, obviously, but I think there's some level of expectation of what Viper's going to do. He should know that Viper's probably going to be going scouts and spears. So, yeah, Hera wants the food, and it's actually really important that he gets this extra little bit of food, so well played to him.
That's a really quick uptime with... I think Viper really forced that, right? You look at 19 villagers, 4 fishing ships, even with Lithuanians.
That's crazy.
Pretty fast, and he did take in the boar. And he's going to get to Feudal Age with quite a few resources available now. The barracks is still not up, but he will start to make the stable, and Viper looking to be in a pretty good position here. Hera going for a barracks as well, as Viper Scout just completes the exploration of the base, and he's going to be able to harass the fishing ships, be very annoying over there.
Yep, being as annoying as possible. Should look to confirm and see what Hera's up to, sees the barracks, sees the stable. And yeah, I think Viper knows Hera's going to wall, so I need to prepare myself for some defense as well. Hera sees Viper stable as well. Scouting has been top tier from both players here. And still keeping that scout alive is so important on Spiral, because even though you can wall and protect your farming eco, you have limited gold and stone in your base, so you'll eventually need to expand elsewhere. I think Viper, considering a forward dock here, Dave, like, he knows how defensive Hera is at the moment. And I see the villager walking forward. He knows Hera's got fish as well. I think he wants to build a dock there and make a couple fire galleys to harass Hera.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Definitely makes sense. And there's the dock right there, and he's not even going to put it forward. He's going to put it in like a hidden position, as hidden as you can get.
Yeah, I mean,
area.
It's very interesting. Like, so much about this start was less than ideal for Hera. He also didn't scout the proper dock position. Like, you can scout where the deep fish are, and Hera, I think, just lost his scout somewhere because I
at
see the
Viper's
death
base.
and at Viper's base. Yeah, so now he doesn't have any vision, and like, this wasn't going to be good for Hera anyways with the fish, right?
Mm-hmm. We might run into the spearman too. No, he notices it in time, pulls the scouts back. He's going for a gate, and I love the fact that he's closing off the front side of his wall. How many times have we seen that?
Yeah.
Players keeping that open to the TC. But I mean, with the map set up the way it is, if Viper takes water control here, as Harris still doesn't see that dock on his pond, it could be like doubly effective. Not just killing the fish, but also holding Hera into his base.
Hera needs to re-wall it. He does. Viper was on the prowl there. And Hera now sees that Viper's got the forward dock, and unfortunately for him, there's not much he can do. What's good for Hera is the walls defend him now. So he's played very passively here. And he's now in a position to maybe counterattack the Viper. Viper isn't fully walled, but Viper does have Spearman waiting. So, I mean, it's Hera. You could expect some good micro, but it feels like Viper's just happy to chill in this position and knows he's not going to be able to do any more damage in Feudal Age.
It's kind of hard for Viper to fully wall here. He'd need to do the same thing as Hera, but that's a lot of wall segments to get down because of the marsh terrain along the edge of that shoreline. As Hera comes on through, Viper should be able to defend himself. Not really seeing, even with Hera's micro, not really seeing any villagers that could potentially go down here.
Yeah, and Hera's hoping that Viper's just going to defend with spears. Hera is trying to defend his fish right now, by the way, so that's notable. No repair villager available for Viper because he pulled her away. But Viper's done the right thing, I think, just to leave your scouts at home. Like, I think Well, actually, Hera, now that he's left, I guess Viper's not going to do that. But, you know, what Hera wanted was walls and safety after losing the first game. This is not a new thing for Hera. He just loves to play in towards walls. He's like, as long as they don't break me early, I could survive. And the longer this game goes, the better my eco will be. And the farms are looking really good. Like, the Poles pick, I think, is really smart.
Farms are looking very orderly. I will say that much.
Yeah, dude. Say, like, whether you like the Poles or not as a civilization, I think everyone must agree that there's something extremely satisfying to looking at a full work completely covered with farms.
Yep. And Hera will always set them up properly. Same with Tato, right? There's a couple people that... At Viper as well.
Yep.
And I like the fact that he walled in a way that he has enough for him to do that for himself. So his resources looking fantastic. Fire Galleys pushing forward from Hera, and he's going to clear up that Fire Galley from Viper, although there's a demo coming out now. Still has the fishing ships alive as he continues to dodge the Spearmen, and Viper's scouts still haven't gotten in. So, like you said, good strategy so far with the Poles, or rather good execution so far with the Poles.
Yep. And there's the demo from Viper. Might just be going for the fishing ships here, and he's not going to get it. He's just going to kill a ship that was basically dead anyway. So Viper clicks up to castle. Hera, good job to stabilize here. Resources collected higher for Hera because of the Poles. Now, that's just slight, and Viper's going to be in Castle Age a bit faster. But this is the type of game Hera wanted. I think he's just going to be cav spam and booming, and the Poles are so good at that.
I think if we look at, like, optimal army compositions, though, Lithuanians probably have the more powerful one, right?
Yeah, I
Especially
agree.
if Viper gets into Latest,
Yep.
it's going to be... Oof.
That's a lot of scouts from Hera here, and he's going to take that fight against the spear. Viper noticed this because he's microing the spear a bit, and Viper, realizing the direction this is going to go, is just going to add some of his own scouts and adds the second stable. KD's 5-3. I want to look at scouting real quick. Hera, okay, the right side seems like the likely area for him to expand to with a TC, and Viper also the right side. Ish, like that's the only stone and gold that he sees. So players will need
you
to
always
expand.
you always know where they're going to be. They're
Yeah.
always in the same spots every single time, right?
Yeah,
I
there's a
think these
ring on the
guys
grass
will-
too, so you should look for the little
Yeah.
like dry grass area, I guess. Amazing fight for Hera here. Viper giving Hera a lot of hits. Hera with more cav on the field. Viper, of course, still with the Spearman though. Hera's going to have work cut out to avoid that. Dave, would you make a demo in your dock if you were a Viper right now?
Yes. I'd have one in my dock if I was Hera. It's such a little investment for such a massive potential payoff. It's crazy.
I literally
and
could hear...
it gets in your opponent's head too.
I could hear your brain steaming there wasn't a demo, so I had to bring it up.
I mean, at this point, I'm basically resigned to the fact that people don't realize it. You know, Tata would have a demo in there, 100%.
We did have a couple demos in the semis, so it worked out. But I think these guys maybe too much respect for each other. Viper, TC on the right, between the gold and the stone, even pre-walling, just in case. Good stuff. He's sharp today. Hera, TC on the right. He's also pre-walling, just in case. Does need to make sure that Palisade is built, though. Because otherwise, the TC goes down.
You mean the TC doesn't go... The TC just gets denied straight up. Oh, no.
It's a very slow denial.
She's body blocking right now. She's giving her life to save that potential TC. The villager is out now. There's still two of them that can build, and Hera's Lightcap are there.
Yeah, Viper's just going to stay here to get the kills. We'll run away with the other group. Viper only killed 2 villagers there. It could have been worse for Hera.
Damn, it could have been way worse for Hera. I think he'd take that any day, only losing 2 villagers after losing that Palisade Foundation.
Yeah.
Still, that's only his second TC going up. Viper now has 3 completed, and Viper's going to get 100 food with each TC, right, with Lithuanians. So it's a little bit of a easier boom, even with the Poles having their beautiful foreworks.
Yep, Hera will eventually run out of space for full works as well. That blacksmith position is going to bother him soon when he wants more farms there. But Hera expanding to the left. And Hera with 11 light cav. Viper only with 4. Viper pretty heavy on stone though, Dave. So this seems intentional. He might be thinking about a castle sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be brutal though if he doesn't wall the front of his base here.
Yep.
Like, if he lets Hera in here, I know there's not a ton of space, but if he lets Hera in with a couple light cap just roaming around, never going to be able to get his monks in a good position. You see Hera now controlling the relic spots as well. On the left side.
If there was a demo right now, all those light cap are dead. What's going on, Viper?
Dead, dude. And no, if there's a flag on that dock, Hera doesn't even go through there. You can make a fishing ship and put it in the dock.
Now you make the demo because Hera will only leave one way. No, you don't.
Too late.
Okay, too late. Viper getting some kills, though. Viper did lose a monk.
Now he's making the demo. Timing, brother. It's all about timing. That's too late.
Listen, there's not a lot we can teach this man, but when it comes to demos on out of docks on the map Spiral, I think we could teach him a thing or two.
Yep. Look, and now he's trying to bait it back, but he's making it so obvious. So obvious. I don't think Hera ever falls for this. It's like, why is Viper hanging around here with this light cap? Why did he just run me past the dock? Oh, he's gonna make a demo. It's like preschool stuff here, Tristan. We need to get a little bit deeper than this.
Yeah, it's horrible. It really is. If they knew, they'd be complaining about demos and not monks, right?
Mm-hmm.
A castle for Viper. Viper's really concerned he's going to get raided to death with the light cap. I find the early castle very interesting here. But I love Hera's position. Hera's able to get relic number 1. Hera's had no pressure at his own base. And, like, yeah, the army could be stronger. Oh, Hera next to the water. But, yeah, the army can be stronger for the Lithuanians,
here it
but the
comes.
Poles can make
Hera,
more.
no, just don't. Hera, why are you a demo highlight reel, brother? Why? Every single time I see someone getting hit by demos, it's Hera. Luckily, he did pull away in time.
In all fairness, though,
2 of them.
in all fairness, he went in how many times? And then Viper never made one. So he maybe was safe to assume Viper was never going to do it there. In all fairness to Hera.
He did notice in time. Yeah. And he is, like you said, Hera's doing a fantastic job. 4th TC now coming up from him. 63 vills versus 70 for Viper. And Hera has handcart. And he's got plenty of room to make full works here, Tristan. He's got plenty of monks. He's got light cav. And
Viper going to wander possibly into a light cav with this monk. Is Viper paying attention to that monk? Wow, that's sick. That's sick.
Where?
In the north, sorry. Like, he was walking that direction looking for a relic because he doesn't see it. And Hera's going to lose that, which means Viper's monk can freely move around. Viper will probably find relic number 1. Res collected, I still want to check. And Poles have pulled ahead massively here.
Oh, wow, yeah. Ahead by over 1,000 resources.
Crazy.
But, I mean, I guess Hera does have better eco upgrades as well, right? It's not just the Poles. Like, he's got the farms dropping off the food, but his farmers are also better than Viper's, even though Viper has more of them currently. I'm just still concerned. If we go into the late game, I'm still concerned for Hera a little bit because I think Latest is just so oppressive.
Yeah.
If Viper has the castles up and does get at least a couple of his own relics.
And Poles do not have Halb. Viper using a latest to kill a light cav on the left. Hera runs away. Hera now, your turn to make a demo, but he hasn't done it. And Monk's going to go down. That is close enough, though, to Hera's base, where it's expected that Hera will get that relic, which would be relic number 3.
Viper's going to get 2 here. He found the one on the left, chased the light cav away with the latest. Maybe that guy will come back at some point, and then he's going to get the one on the right as well.
Yeah, this is basically, like, this has been a very complex, very interesting arena-style game with no walls, I guess. So Hera's going to kill the monk on the left. My goodness, what a play. Beautiful find. But they know it goes late. They know, especially with Lithuanians involved, the relics are important. And I'm waiting for Hera to really turn it up a notch with production. I'm expecting to see a 3rd and 4th stable go up. It feels like an all-in Castle Age type of moment for him to raid somewhere.
This is going to be a weird question.
Yeah.
Who has the better late-game water tech tree between the 2 of these civs? I don't know, dude. I don't know.
You're asking the wrong guy. If I'm not seeing it competitively, I'm not the guy to ask, dude. I would say...
I think it's Lithuanians, but I'm not certain. I don't know if Poles have elite cannon galleon.
I don't know, but I know someone's going to know, and I know we're going to receive that information pretty soon. Now, there's a lot of gold in the middle, and that gold's going to end up being important, and Viper is dropping a castle that is completely unprotected. He's dropping that in the middle, or near the middle. Hera just sitting at home waiting towards Imp. Quick Wall City over here for him, as Viper comes in to kill a villager, and will kill the villager quickly with the latest, but Hera wants to go Imp here. Viper's still staying in Castle Age for a bit longer.
Wouldn't surprise me if Viper got like almost all the by the end of this game if he gets almost all the techs in the the tech tree or like hill forts and everything.
You know what?
This just seems like one of those games that's gonna go on for a while.
You know what Viper needs to do, because we know Hera will just raid for the first couple minutes. Viper needs to stonewall that right side.
Stonewall. Yep.
So easy to stonewall, and I think he's gonna have that idea once he gets the Lycav run through here.
I think the issue is that he wants his stone for castles, right?
Yeah.
He wants latest production, so he doesn't want to waste his stone like that. Even like a couple palisade walls there would give you a bunch of warning.
Yeah.
And then maybe you could stonewall later or house walls or something like that. But Hera is pushing on that side. He's getting the privileges in right now, and he's preparing to spam those Cavaliers. Viper, 6th town center over to the left side. I think that's more for defense than anything else right now. But his economy is still going to be pretty good. However, you mentioned before, the raids will be coming in.
There is not... Like, Viper's the best quick waller there ever has been, right? There is no world where he is going to be able to deal with the raids if Hera is hitting the whole map. Now, as we say this, obviously, Viper's got to prove me wrong. There is a hole.
There's still a hole.
There is a demo. There's a monk. Hera's attacking the houses. But listen, dude, there's just not enough castles for you to be able to fortify the left side as well. There's a hole right there. Viper doesn't see it. So,
yeah, well, Hera doesn't see the raid on the left side of his base. He just noticed now.
Ooh, that might have been where both players were looking at the other player's base right there. It's going to be so tricky for Viper, even with speedy Lithuanian Halbs. When you have 60 farms with the poles, you could just make Lycav forever. It doesn't matter if you lose them. Just spam them.
Yep.
Now, Hera will know that. He also researched Slotch the privilege upgrade, so he's got his night line 60% off on gold. Yeah, I know. It wasn't my best. It wasn't my best. I knew you were going to say something. Oh, man. Viper has taken good engagements with the latest, though. And like you said, in terms of peak army, the latest probably superior. And Viper donates a couple latest to Hera, though. And again, great job from Hera to get 3 relics to lessen the attack that's possible on the latest.
And now Hera snipes 2 monks over on the left side. Oh, the monk actually survived. Monk's OP. And both players, well, they're getting to the Imperial Age here. Viper, no surprise, is going into Halb first. I think Halb is the tech that keeps you from dying.
Yes.
So that's the best tech to get when you immediately research or get to Imperial Age, rather. And Viper isn't spending stone on the wall to the right, but he is walling with houses in University. So he's definitely thinking about locking these areas down.
There's still a hole between those barracks, though, which bothers me. It could be an issue, but he does have his army there. Man, these guys, it feels like these guys are going to touch every single stone and gold on the map at this rate. But Hera just shifts over to the left side, recognizing Viper's got the castles on the right. Also trying to send in Cavalier on the right, runs into the Halbs. Viper, a nice find there, but Viper, no reaction just yet. Never mind, on the left, he does react. You know, there is going to be a point where Hera needs an answer to Halb, though, right? So, normally what I was expecting just Hussar from Hera and not spending any of his gold on Cav, even though it's cheap, and then go Arbalest later on. So we'll see if Hera eventually runs out of gold here. Viper is defending from the attack so far, and taking a pretty decent trade next to Hera's Treb right now.
Yeah, but Hera's got the privileges, right? He can spam out the Cavs, and he's got 4 monks there still. He's probably not going to make a ton more monks. He's got 2 more in the queue, but it's a really, really great just add-on to this army.
Yep.
It's a really great supplement to the Cavalier, and you can see the Cavalier winning against the Halbs there, maybe due to the healing that the monks were providing them throughout that fight, and Hera's just going to sit with his Treb, he's going to protect it, and he's going to add even another monastery.
Yeah, and Viper's in trouble, right? Viper's reacting to the raids, and Viper tries to use his Treb to keep his castle up by taking out the other Treb. It's going to get that Treb picked off. It is so much harder to play in Viper's position right now, and there's too much of the map to ever prevent the raids from adding up. This is all what Hera thought about in the Dark Age. He just knew, if I go late game and raid him, he won't be able to stop me.
And Viper needs to be raiding too, right? Like, Viper needs to be in a Hera's Eco with a few latest or whatnot, but he just can't. because Hera's pressure is coming in too hard. And Hera's got 73 farmers right now.
Yep.
Like, this is just an optimal position for Hera. This is a position he loves to be in right now. Viper is scrambling to get all the Halb techs and trying to deal with the raids at the back, but Hera's killed 50 villagers now.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I have speedy Halbs. This should be fine. Nope. Cavalier's still faster. Hera's still setting the pace of the game, and now we see the Winged Hussar upgrade from Hera, so he's going to go for that. We should see ranges eventually from him. He really loves his Cav. I feel like 4 ranges and starting to produce some skirmishers even would be helpful against the Halbs. It is Viper we're talking about, so if Hera doesn't finish him and Hera's still stuck fully on Cav tech, it could be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it could always be one of those games where you look and Viper's in the corner with 4,000 gold in the bank.
Yeah.
You know, like, we've seen that so many times, but Hera, I mean, it's just piling on the pressure here. He's got crop rotation coming in, bracers coming in, still monks behind this. Really, really utilizing a multi-army composition around these trebs. And this is Age of Empires in 2023. We never would have seen a composition like this even just a couple of years ago because players weren't good enough to fully control it.
Yeah. Also, there wasn't a Civ maybe good enough as well, like the polls, to do what Hera has done here, right? Came out within the last couple years. Hera does the right thing. I see a lot of players, even at the high level, make this mistake where they'll be 200 pop and they don't just go throw units into the opponent's eco. Hera's like, I don't care. I'll have more units because I have more units in queue. So I'm going to go raid with these things. And that's what he does. He's taken out Viper's castle. He's still going to start to push. He's still dropping stables, though. I'm worried that if Hera continues to only go cap, that maybe it gives Viper a chance.
He's got Lechitic Legacy, man. He can win against Halbs.
Trample damage.
Winged Hussar, yeah.
Trample
and
damage.
He's got the monks, too. Look at the monks putting in work. And now he suddenly has a Halberdier meat shield of his own.
Yeah, it is really annoying, actually, when a Halb gets converted. Viper's Halbs, they're so distracted there. And Viper not dead
Rebs
yet.
are attacking the Halbs as well. So Hera getting extra value with his trebuchets.
Can you friendly? I don't think you can friendly fire your own Halbs with Trebs either.
I think you can now.
Oh,
I
interesting.
think you can now. I think that didn't used to be a thing. I'd need to double check it. But Hera comes in. The left side tries to raid over there. Viper. Max pop.
He's max pop. Like,
Halberdiers.
Viper has not been in a position to go for other units. He doesn't have the castles to go for laces. He doesn't have the wood to drop the ranges and go skirms. He doesn't have the techs. Hera needs Arbalest. He needs the ranged units, but Davy's doing it. And honestly, since Viper can't push him, Hera's going to have the time. And he's dropping the ranges now. It's just, you don't want to be overconfident here with your position and give Viper too much time to cook, as you say, right? Because
Winged Hussar for Viper now. So Winged Hussar versus Winged Hussar, but one player has held.
yeah, and also the Polish Winged Hussar are way better. It just the trample damage on the Winged Hussars for the Poles is insane. I feel like it's a forgotten bonus. I feel like people don't realize how strong that is. I think that tech is just as good as the tech that makes the Cavalier be discounted. So there's still some exposed stone and gold on the left side. Hera's going to be taking that. And again, Res Collected's probably ridiculous for him as he's now slowly creeping out on Viper's right-hand side. I was thinking about a castle there and deleted it.
I was wondering if he lost that, but no,
Yeah.
he did delete that. He's got all of his focus over here, and like the amount of micro that Hera has put in with his monks in late Imperial Age is insane.
Yep.
He's gotten a ton of conversions on those helps, and it actually does matter, and he hasn't really lost his monk mass. He's going to keep it around here. Viper with a sick quick wall, though, with that house.
Viper just deleted a Treb. He just deleted a Treb instead of the lumber camp.
Oh, man.
The Viper really needs that Treb to have any chance here because he's trying to counter the Trebs from Hera. And that is not going to go on Viper's highlight reel. It does show these players are human.
Where's the ox cart when you need it, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, Hera started building that castle foundation. Viper can take that out. That's a mistake from Hera. And yeah, he lost that. He's getting murder holes now. Hera was busy getting murder holes, and he loses the castle. Tragedy.
Okay. So both players playing amazing, obviously, making a couple mistakes here in the heat of the moment. But it's still, Hera can raid, right? And yeah, Viper's got Halbs. Yeah, he's going to have Winged Hussar now. But how can he ever push Hera? Hera's got so many castles. He could expand to more stone and get even more castles. Viper's just stuck in the corner right now.
Neither player going for that middle gold, by the way. It's like they're both just kind of thinking about it. They're waiting until they're in an optimal position. They don't want to expose themselves too much by going out for that. And Hera's raiding force on the left completely cleared up by Viper.
Yep.
65 on food from Viper, by the way.
Yeah, crazy. But does he have enough? Let's see. He's got Winged Hussar now. He does have full armor in, something the Poles don't get. There's not as many Arbalest here. Viper's starting to engage. There was a window where Viper could not afford to go Winged Hussar. And in that window, we didn't see the Arbalest tech from Hera. Is it gonna be enough from Hera to kill the Viper here? Or is Viper actually gonna hold this?
I think Hera's production is just insane, right? Like, it looks great for Viper initially, but the Arbalists are still alive.
Yeah.
The monks are still healing. And now the Winged Hussar are going to start to make their way in. Maybe you want to delete some of the stables that are a little bit further back if you're Hera and you have so many of them. But damn, dude, Hera holding on to this hill. Treb's still alive.
Yeah. Like, Hera never loses from this position, right? He set it up perfectly. And he's just got to be patient here and not overextend against Viper. But even then, it's like, if you lose gold units, you have more relics and you have more gold control. You're not making that many gold units either, so I think he's got the perfect Arb ball there. And the only thing Hera's missing now is maybe a devastating raid on the left. So, like, I could see 4 Trebs and a group of Arbs or a group of Hussars maybe taking the left of Viper's base. It's kind of difficult.
Viper has not raided since, like, early imp. It's been kind of brutal for him, right? He's got the Winged Hussar, but he needs him in defense. And Hera just keeps... Look, he sends another group. He just keeps sending them over here over and over and over again. Viper does have halbs on that area, but it's getting pretty difficult for him to keep up with this.
Polish farms are just insane. Like, Chinese farms have been insane for, like what, 20 years, right? But they don't get crop rotation. This civilization gets 10% of its farm's food when it's built instantly, and it gets crop rotation, which means that boosts insanity. And Hera's got so much food. He's got 45 Hussars in queue right now. And he could queue up like 20 more.
I like how Hera puts that castle like kind of on the hill, but not on the hill over there, so that Viper will need to stretch out to actually range it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't put it on the edge of that, but
I wonder, like,
interesting positioning.
I think this is just Hera playing as safe as possible in a really big moment, right?
Maybe.
But I really do feel as though the finishing blow could have been applied if he had 4 Trebs at any point, right? Let's see. I mean, Viper's really... I mean, props to him for staying in this game. He's going to try and go take out those trebuchets. And he's going to engage. He does wrap around the Arbalest, so he will be able to engage against the Arbs, which is what he wants. Takes out the Trebs. But Hera should be able to make more.
You think Hera would win this fight with the splash damage, but with the halbs involved from Viper, the Trebs are now down. Hera only has 4 monks now.
What in the world?
And now Hera has to be worried about losing his Arbalest here. Maybe with the Arbalest taking up so much pop space from Hera, he just didn't have enough of a meat shield, and now the push has been held. And once again, it's one of those games, right? You look up at Viper's gold, and you're expecting, with very little gold access, to see him on 0, but no.
How, though? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I think, like, honestly, Viper needs to spend that gold in a way, though, where it really packs a punch. So maybe try Cavalier, maybe try and mix in Latus again. I just don't know. He's going to try and raid, though. For the first time in a long time, after winning that fight, he's going to move over to Hera's base.
Both players just not even feeling comfortable going to the middle either. That's incredible.
Seriously.
I think, like, lower... I don't want to say quality, but lower rated players, even in Titans League, would have made their way to the middle already.
Yep.
Because they see that and they're like, oh, I need to take control of that. But both of these guys realize they can't overextend. Not against a player like Viper or like Hera. It's going to be very difficult as Hera goes for the quick walls at his own base. And he continues to push that castle at the front.
I love the reaction from Hera. He could have chased these Hussars, but he said, okay, you come to my base, I go to yours.
Yep.
Like, both sides, tries to make a push. Meanwhile, still is a Treb. Still trying to push there. It's still just 1 Treb. If he had 4, Viper's castle would have been down.
Well, I mean, he already lost 2 of them not too long ago.
It's going to take some time, especially because the unit queue is always full for him. So it's going to take time for the Trebs to arrive. And Viper going to snipe a Treb, going to stay alive, keeps his own Treb alive, getting some raids in. Did react to the raids on the left, but he's lost a ton of ills there and will lose his TC.
He's been keeping himself fairly consistent around 110, 100 villagers.
Yeah.
Viper. Hera has had 120 for most of this period. But Hera's still with 55 Wing Hussar in the queue. And he's raiding like crazy on that left TC.
And the farm count's only gone up for Hera. Hera's killed 128 villagers. He's probably thinking, how is Viper not dead yet? And Viper finally accepts he is dead. A ridiculous game, but from the very start, much like we saw with Viper's victory in the first game, Hera had a strategy here with the poles, and he knew, yes, there's water, yes, there's relics, yes, there's all this gold, but what I need is I just need to expand and raid with Cav. And for a while there, I mean, that's all he was thinking of. It took him a long time to even consider the Arbalest. A beautiful hole from Viper, but a fantastic response from Hera here.
Yeah, and I mean, as long as you kill that second castle forward, Viper's ability to make latest is pretty much neutralized, right? His ability to go out to extra gold. And that's the only thing you're really worried about if you're Hera, is that he has a better gold-based composition late game. But you have the better Hussar spam.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he took advantage of. So great job from Hera, 1-1. That's what we want to see going into game 3. It's a good set so far.
Yeah, great set. Hera collected a casual 29,000 more resources. How did Viper survive that long? What in the world? Such great economy. And you're getting gold when you're mining stone with the poles. You get the crazy food boost. Hera played that Civ to perfection. And it was kind of a late Civ pick for Hera as well. I really like the trend here where both players have gone for a pick, which is a little uncommon, or a strategy that maybe the opponent doesn't expect here. So they only had like last evening pretty much to prepare because they played the semifinals yesterday. But from what I heard from Nilly, at least, like Viper was talking to his team about strats. I'm sure Hera was doing the same. And it's just the level of intensity and competition these guys have is just so good, man. Like obviously there's prize pools, right? And there's all of that. But really, it's just a competition. They want to be the best. And folks, here we are, game 3, Socotra, and expect laming. Rule number 1 of Socotra, find your elephant, take your elephant. Viper's looking for his elephant.
I love this. He actually scouted with a villager.
So
that's
good.
Amazing.
And Hera's going right underneath the TC.
Hera is going for the goats. Hera is not only fighting against the goat, he's trying to steal the goats from the goat as the eagle is trying to block that elephant. He tries to lame with the house, but he doesn't get it.
Welcome to Socotra. Welcome to Socotra. Let's see if Viper remembers to build his house. This is what happens on this map. They are so close, and you need to take every advantage you can get. Great start for Hera, though. To take out 200 food like that, and then have your eagle still be some type of a threat is very nice for you. Wow. Okay, so...
He still hasn't built the house.
Still hasn't built the house, because normally you build the houses right away, and he pulled the villagers off. He could go out with the villager now and complete it, and he's going to do so, as well as research Loom. Now, why the Mayans are strong is they start with an additional Vill, and due to that start, you're pop blocked, so you get Loom anyways. So you'll have the extra Vill, essentially, and you have the Eagle, which is stronger than the Scout in the Dark Age.
Yeah, and these Zebra are going to be all over the place here, too. On the wrong side of that gold.
Yeah.
Good job from Hera to lame that. We'll see if he comes forward and walls in the berries. Do you notice anything special about this map, Tristan?
I notice a flock of birds.
Yeah. I've been debating whether to mention them for the last minute and a half.
I was surprised you didn't. I was like, man, what's going on here? The Viper's going to return the favor to Hera. He's got to be careful. It's close to the TC. And you ideally would want to spread the zebras out if you can. So Hera can't just go out here and mill this. But I think like having the additional Vill and then also having your resources last longer is just a big thing for your start here for Hera. So I guess for Viper, having cheap farms with Teutons is going to be a really nice bonus though.
Yeah, food is king on Socotra, right?
Yep.
Especially early on. Food is king. Maybe gold becomes king later on. But Hera, laming some of the food from Viper. Like we said, he didn't manage to get that elephant. So good job there from Viper. I really like the way Viper scouted with not only his scout, but his villager too. To find that elephant right away and to make sure that he got that in. So many times we see players taking goats and not luring in that elephant. It's just kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and
What
it's
are you
tricky
doing?
too. It's trickier than it looks because it's right away, and you only have so much vision. So sometimes players will miss it. Viper just chilling and taking Hera Zebra, and Hera. This is so funny. Hera was gonna wall him, and Viper bopped the wall, and it doesn't look like Hera's actually that interested in trying, but yeah, Viper runs away now. The Viper will also
31
see the berries
food.
here.
She's going to get home. Yep.
Yeah.
And he's going to be taking his berries early. So even if Hera goes through some feudal aggression or something, Viper's already going to be taking a lot of food from that, which is very important.
Yeah. Hera opted for the lumber camp first, which is the more traditional start. But that makes sense to me because he's had the better start, so he can get away with doing that.
Yep.
Viper having to be flexible, delaying his lumber camp is all fine. Just a small thing here, and again, it's just a very small thing, but Viper didn't actually see that one zebra on the left. So it had like 100 some food on it, but he can't see it in his fog. It died out of his scouting. So he couldn't walk over there and get that one as well if he would have wanted to do that.
So -1 zebra and then minus the 2 goats earlier.
Yep.
Kind of painful.
Yeah, really painful. And then you're up against Mayans. So I think Harris will click Feudal Age very quickly here, and like, props to Hera for coming to play here. Obviously, both players come to play the series. The series has been fantastic, but you just know the map, right? And you got to go for it. And using the Eagle to even heal up in the TC, which is so freaking strong here. And Viper can't do the same with the Scout. Also another thing that Hera's doing very well.
I think Viper's golden stones are a little bit better, though, for a setup than Hera's.
Agreed.
You look at the safest gold for Hera, it's way over on the left side. You can kind of see the way he would want to wall with that, but Viper's got 2 golds that are relatively safe. The stones are still kind of a nightmare, as they always are on Sakatra. You're very lucky to get a back one. It hasn't happened for either player here. And Viper, Viper's kind of wandering into a quick wall scenario with the Scout. Yeah, get out of there, dude.
I was thinking the same. I think you and I would probably like go near the rocks, and then there'd be a gate on the other side, and our Scout would be trapped. I mean, Teutons have a pretty sick tower rush. You don't see it these days. I think Vipers pick Teutons more so for the cheap farms and maybe the conversion resistance, because this is a map with a lot of monks, usually, but I'll be curious to see what Viper does. I'm also curious, what is going to send these birds away from here, dude? They are stuck.
Are they storks? I can't click them because
of the barracks?
The barracks, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You know what it reminds me of, though? I know it's not a duck, but it makes me want to play Duck Hunt. Did you ever play that?
Yeah,
the Mario game with like the little gun.
It's not a Mario game. It's a Super Nintendo game.
Sorry, yeah, a Nintendo Mario. That's just
it had the little dog that would pop up.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. Yeah. Quack quack. I'm sure our audience will remember that as well.
It's an NES game. It's a Nintendo Entertainment System game. Damn,
it
dude.
was fun. So Hera opens up, makes an eagle. Illy and I discussed this yesterday. The trend these days for Mezzo is not so much like just like their archers or their eagles long term. It's the fact that they can produce out of the barracks and a range at the same time. It's pretty strong. Hera opts not to add the range, though, which is surprising to me. But Viper's opening skirm. So actually, that's actually a pretty good move here for Hera.
I mean, did you see was it you I was casting with?
Oh, God, the Yo and Valis series? Yeah, that's true.
Just skirms against eagles. That's it.
Yeah.
It seemed to work. It did seem to work.
Oh, the birds have dispersed. Ooh.
So it was the lion.
Does it have anything to do with the lion? You're right.
Hang on. You continue with the cast. I'm going to do some investigative work.
Please do. Please do. And let us know your findings. I feel like it had something to do with the lion, because the lion is Gaia, so man, this game works in mysterious ways. Viper opening skirmishers here. Did not see an archer range from Hera. Trying to use his starting scout to get as much value as possible. He wants to kill this thing, because Hera can heal that up in the TC. And the question now is, like, will Viper accept another hit on his scout to kill that? Because otherwise Hera might end up looping home. It doesn't look like Viper's interested in doing that. Maybe he is, actually. Yeah, Viper's thought about this. He's like, nah, this isn't cool. I can't have that thing heal up inside the TC. I'm going to get that kill now. Have you found anything, Dave? We're really curious.
It was the line. They dispersed as soon as the line went underneath them.
Wow.
Crazy. Yep, the
All
things
right.
we learn, you know?
Well, skirmishers from Viper. Viper saw the Yo Valis series. I'm not sure if Hera saw it. It just... it's a bit of a weird play to go skirmishers against Eagles in
And Viper's
the
sending
long
Vills forward,
term.
Tristan. He's definitely thinking about a tower rush. And I mentioned the stones and the golds earlier from Hera.
Yeah.
If Viper cuts off that gold right there, he'll force Hera into a defensive tower. And
Hera's
then
got a
Hera
Vil
will have
fight.
to find a stone somewhere.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, God.
Vil fight, and it's just going to be so messy for him. And there's enough skirms here to kind of deal with the villagers and the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay, so Micro's got to be ridiculous here. Hera's sent villagers onto the tower. Now, you do get murder holes for free in Castle Age, but that does not apply in Feudal Age. So, really, Viper's tower will only be doing damage if units are not underneath the tower and
But
they're
he's got
around
enough
it.
skirms. He's actually doing enough damage with the skirms just because he has so many of them.
Crazy.
Forward here, and now Hera's cut off that gold, and Hera has to look for a stone. I think Hera needs to be going to a stone right now. He's sending the villagers out to the gold on the right side. They're weak, though.
Oh,
And
man.
Viper will know the locations of everything. Like, this is a really, really bad situation here for Hera. You can click up to Castle Age, but where's your gold income coming if you can't keep that secure?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what Hera wanted to do. This is the right play from Viper because Hera wants to go castle where Eagles will dominate. But that's still going to take a couple minutes. What I like from Hera is that he's been extremely patient with his tower. I think he needs to place one right here on this hill, though. He's playing some risky games here.
It gets in your head when you're playing against students, though. You're like, any tower I place can be killed
Yeah.
fairly easily because they have more arrows firing from theirs, right? So very, very difficult. Viper just goes for kind of like a first step tower
Yeah, maybe.
into the next one. He's still fighting off the Eagles. No armor on those from Hera, and so many skirms.
I mean, will Viper be able to stay alive here against the Eagles that Hera does have? It feels like he needs to continue to advance forward. Any Eagle he kills is actually a little bit more valuable than villagers right now. But then again, maybe Hera's changed his plan. He's like, screw Eagles. I've got stone, bro, and I'm going to tower this, and I'm going to go for a castle in the next stage. That's actually a really nice idea if he could do that, Dave. He's got 200 stone already. Viper can't
If he can
kill
get it
him.
in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he can get it on that hill in the center, maybe.
I
But,
actually
mean,
think...
Viper still controlling stones and golds on the left.
Yeah, and if those towers stay up for a long time, obviously big issues for Hera. What a great Castle Age time from Hera here. And he's even going to heal the Eagles inside the tower. Wow. So I think, like, all things considered, Viper will be somewhat okay with denying all the stones and golds because it's important on this map. But he cannot contest... Oh, wait a second. He's going to try and contest this, Dave, by maybe building a tower that ranges Hera's tower and shooting it down?
Mm-hmm.
Viper's not up to Castle Age. Hera 45 seconds away. Teuton Towers can fit more villagers inside. I feel like Viper might even bring more vills to fight here. He's going to need army, though. These Eagles are going to be so strong in 30 seconds for Hera. This is so tough for Viper to break. Here's the tower. It ranges Hera's mining camp and not Hera's tower because Viper doesn't have fletching.
And the Eagles are coming over to the gold.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. And Hera's about to get to Castle Age. He gets to Castle Age. The villagers need to abandon that position. There is a TC to run to. There's a tower to run to. But all of the towers from Viper are aggressive.
Yeah.
They're not defensive. So it's not going to help him out that much over here. He's forced to send the skirmishers back. And he still has not clicked up to Castle Age himself. He's missing that second building. And he's building a second blacksmith. He doesn't realize he's building the first one. Cancels it and goes for a market.
Oh, man. Viper under pressure. He missed his buildings. He clicks up. Hera could have gone for a ridiculously offensive castle here. There is nothing to stop Hera from walking
On the
forward
right
and dropping
side
that on Viper's
of
TC.
Viper's...
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know the uptime from Viper,
Yeah,
right?
that's a very fair point. And you feel like you've got a lead now. You've killed more villagers than Viper killed from you. You're dropping a castle. It'll free up your golds here. This castle's perfect because it shoots both those towers down. So this is the safe play. I think Viper is going to have to pull something crazy here to have any chance. I don't know what he does. Like, the Eagles could kill him. If he responds to the Eagles, then plumed archers could kill him.
He doesn't have any more stone either.
Oh, true.
Damn.
Villager
Now
down.
he's the one cut off of stone. That's pretty brutal. I guess he could take it forward, but Now he's walling in the wood line. He's got a gate to protect himself, and the Eagles are kind of roaming around. There's still a hole near that mining camp, but of course Viper takes care of that, as he's going to save both of these villagers somehow.
Yep, and this was the first time in the series, like, you know, Viper's pick, you look at it, having not seen Teutons a lot, and you're kind of like, you know? As Viper's going to lose another villager. Again, would love to see Hera think about plumed archers in the event that, you know, his opponent goes for knights or something, but right now, Viper is able to save the Eagles. Like, the Eagles are in again. Viper's still not in Castle Age. He's got Eagles all over him.
Don't worry, he has skirmishers.
Woo!
Surely this will be fine.
Viper's going to blame Yo for this. For that game where Yo killed Eagles with skirmishers. And Hera's going to get another villager kill there, followed by another villager kill. So that's been 8 villager kills from Hera, who's now got a pretty significant eco lead. And he has greater access to stone and gold in the long run because he has full map control here.
And it's not like Hera has really been all in investing on these Eagles either. Like, he's kept up the villager production. He's got a decent economy, compared to Viper anyway, behind this. And he hasn't even gotten really many of the Eagle upgrades. He's just taking advantage of the good position of the castle and the faster time to the Castle Age.
Yeah, so I think if you're Viper, you know right now this game's over. This is going to be so tough for me. But I have like one more crazy go at it, and I still have that position on the left side. Hera hasn't broken me yet. If I can get a couple big siege shots, maybe I can get a forward castle down, and this gets crazy. Because if there's any map that just gets crazier as it goes on, it would be Socotra.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're with the siege now for Viper. Yes, Eagles can snipe the siege, but he actually has a realistic shot at attack grounding the Eagles as well. And 2 or 3 mangonels forward castle could maybe change the game. Because he could still take gold, he can still take stone.
On the barracks there from Hera, and Hera's just kind of controlling this middle side of the map. Still hasn't gone for that second TC though, so they're fairly even in terms of villager count. Of course, Wheelbarrow is in for the Canadian.
Oh, you can't lose this mangonel if you're Viper.
An advantage, and he
loses it.
Oh, he does lose it, dude. I thought he was gonna save that for a second.
Yeah, and he calls the GG. He knew he had one more go. And FGG. Why is there always a GG mistake in the finals of Titans League for Viper? Instead of the egg, it's FGG now. Okay.
What does that mean?
Well, it doesn't mean anything. It's the F is next to the G.
But what does it mean, Tristan?
Viper must know something about the birds. It all comes back to those damn birds. Great series so far, and Hera responds very, very strongly here. And honestly, like, he did everything right. He went forward. I love how aggressive he was with the lane, and he found success there. And it was just like this smooth, like, no risk opening. I think the idea of towering from Viper was good, but it all needed to happen maybe a minute or two earlier. And he needed to maybe even just like, maybe just build more towers. Like, he milled the first 2, and then Hera was just freely able to move to the right side. He didn't get towered.
Dude, I think the second tower is unnecessary from Viper. You place the first tower on the gold, Hera backs away, you wall in the stone, and then you walk immediately over to the right side. Yeah,
because Hera was exposed at that time. Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
Also, I think instead of Castle Age, like, I think you invest every single bit of resource to stay in feudal here. Because what does Castle Age do for Hera if he doesn't have gold and he's going Eagles? It does nothing. So maybe if he had like a couple scouts combined with like some bills rushing and some towers, then suddenly Hera could never get the castle in a good position and things, I don't know, snowball. But Hera made that look very easy. Viper tried something different. We've had a lot of that this series so far. Players have been breaking out some new strats. Viper gets to choose the next map as well, and we'll see if he can respond on what I assume will be his home map. I'm thinking that maybe we see a Costa Mountain next, because Fractal's kind of Socotra-y, and we just had that type of game.
Yeah.
And here we are, the expected matchup, or maybe the unexpected matchup. Will Hera expect the thing for Viper that Doubt did against Tato on this map? This is a GL-crafted strategy. Viper has picked the Goths, and he has gone for an early barracks with his TC here. And he's going to make Militia, and Hera is going for the early dock and the fast TC, which is what everyone has been doing on this map.
I think we'll know if he expects it based on whether he quick walls his or pre-walls his villager on the dock or not.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see.
That's true.
I mean, the Bactrian camel is coming in, and Hera is going to just miss that militia. Just missed it. It flashed in front of him, but he sees the barracks.
Yep. Hera knows. Like this is kind of the problem, right? It's like, this is a good strat, but I feel like it's one of those things that maybe works best the first time, because the very first time Doubt did it, he actually ended up losing that game, but I felt like he had all the position to potentially win. Then we saw Tato try it next, and Tato lost with it too, but ACCM knew it was coming. Hera definitely knew it was coming here. Preparation paying off. Now, where this becomes awkward, though, is when you went to drop your lumber camp on the wood, and when you went to go out and take additional hunts. So I think Viper should just kill any zebra he sees near Hera's base. Start there, and then if he sees that Hera comes over to wood, then maybe try and disrupt that a bit.
Yeah, and he's going over here. He's going to kill these. They're a little bit far away. I mean, Hera isn't likely to take these super early.
Yep.
And you have tons of elephants around, and Hera has the dock, right? So Hera has the advantage already economically with those fishing ships already on the field, and we'll see what Viper can actually manage to get done here.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is what has happened in both the games thus far. So we have the Goth player kill the hunt like this, and they try and make it awkward for the opponent to take wood, etc., etc. Then the Goth player, knowing that they themselves don't have a dock, they then go to water in early feudal and kill all the fish. Now, the adaptation that ACCM did against Tato, now granted he was the Malay, so maybe the Malay are a bit better at it. He went feudal, and he added a second dock to defend his fish.
Mm-hmm.
And he still felt like he had enough hunt anyways, that losing out on the zebras wasn't that big a deal. And yeah, it just really felt like that was really strong there. So, you know, in the Doubt Tato game, Tato lost all of the fish. Doubt got a crazy boom going. And then it was like, you know, it's really hard to stop the Goth spam in the later stages. So the positive here for Viper is the Persians don't have anything beyond Longsword. So that could be a struggle against the Goths.
I think Viper just spotted these villagers coming out. Yeah, he brings both of the militia over here, and he's going to find an exposed villager, but Hera already has Loom.
Yep.
So I don't think Hera's too concerned with this situation, and Viper needs to be careful because he could get those militia quick-walled if he's not paying attention. But he's applying a little bit of pressure here. Hera still fairly comfortably clicks up to Feudal Age.
Yep, good stuff. Now, Viper will click up to Feudal Age a bit later. Viper's militia being disrupted. I like this from Hera. He's being greedy. He's like, give me all the zebra. He shoots them. That way the zebras can't lame them. And Viper actually added militia number 3, but that one militia there is so weak now. It doesn't feel like he's going to be able to attack. This is where if you had a scout instead of a camel scout, and you could actually attack with it, this strategy would be so much stronger. But Hera, it's like he knew it was coming. I just wonder, will we see Hera be able to get to his gold, Dave? Because if he wants to take his gold, they'll have to wander up the hill there towards the militia.
I mean, there is a gold south as well.
True. Yep.
If you want to go for that option.
If he even wants to try and defend his fish. He's still got 2 fishing ships. He is not going to be going to defend his fish. We'll see if Viper even goes to kill his fish. Hera's going to drop a barracks. And so this is Hera wanting to pressure on land.
Viper's got nothing else to do here in the time to Feudal Age. He's just going to be a little bit of a nerd with these militia over here. And he's actually just straight up killed that elephant in the middle of the map. Interesting.
He lost a villager to it, Dave. It died.
Ah, that explained. I was like, how did he kill this?
Well,
with
yeah.
a
So
full
what?
HP Vil?
I can tell you exactly what happened. Okay, he clicked a villager to it, forgot about it, and the villager ended up dying. But
but he's Goths.
He did so
he
much
gets the bonus
damage to it with all the hits because he's Goths that the next time he sent a villager out there to bring the elephant in, it just died. So
and now he sent a villager to the pond too. So Viper is looking to make a dock down there to contest this. Hera is sending a villager across, probably to make a second dock just to make his fishing a little bit more efficient, but he hasn't made a fire galley or anything yet.
Yeah, true. It hasn't gone to gold either. I think Hera's thinking about it. So Hera wants to go scouts, and then he wants to go fires. Viper hits the next age. Viper had added 2 more militia. Viper, I think right now is trying to send those militia to the other gold from Hera, knowing that Hera is not on gold, but he will see Hera going to this gold now. Be curious to see if Viper even like cancels the idea or the thought of sending the militia to the other side, because Hera's not going to go over there now if Hera has this gold, in theory, anyways.
Nice job from Viper to
pre-wall
in that villager.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, on the dock, yep. The fire galley's coming out. Hera, that was smart from Hera too, to go look for the dock villager. These guys know what's up here, dude. But Hera's defended this wonderfully. And like game 1, Hera's like, he thought he knew it was coming, and he kind of guessed incorrectly here, but he definitely guessed what was coming here when he saw the Goths.
God, it's been a beautiful dance between the villagers and the militia, now men-at-arms. Like, it feels like neither one is ever getting any free hits on the other, right? And Hera just very calmly not reacting to this, not even going for pre-walls. He might get punished as more things begin to happen here. If he's not paying attention. He could actually lose the villagers, but he does have the scouts, and he's going to come around here, and he's going to clear this up. One of those militia is 1 hit away from death as Hera completes that second dock soon. And it looks like he's going to keep himself safe on the water for the time being.
Viper's trying to group up these 3 militia or men-at-arms with the spearmen and men-at-arms that are coming in from the other side. I don't think Hera's expecting this follow-up. Now, that's 4 more units that he has to deal with, but also 2 spearmen. So Hera has to go for a range. Meanwhile, Hera is producing wonderfully on water, so he's defending his fish. But, like, he's only on 2 fishing ships, so it's not everything to him right now.
Yeah, and I think he saw the spearmen, but he didn't see the men-at-arms with that villager when they initially came in. So this might have surprised him a little bit, as he's going to try and get away with her, and he's going to save her just fine. But now the scouts kind of have to hang around this area, or Hera's going to have to go for a tower or something. He's making an archer range right now, but there's no more of this just kind of staring at the units from Viper and knowing they won't attack.
Dave, I'm laughing because just take a glance at Hera as he's... Okay, now he's got to deal with the gold. Hera just ran out of food underneath his TC. He's got no hunt now. He's at a point where he's like, I need the zebra now. But even looking at the minimap, he just doesn't have the food around. So Viper could still hunt behind this, and Viper's going to get a good engagement here against the scouts with the spear hits. This is not a good fight for Hera to be taking. I think
really
advantage Viper.
Oh my god. All of the scouts go down. He didn't even lose one of those spearmen early. That's 1 villager. There's going to be maybe a second one here, but even just killing 1 vill there, super good fight for Viper, right? You take out all the scouts from Hera.
Hera has no food.
Backside.
Hera has no food. He's got 1 on food. It's the fishing ship. He has no hunt. He hasn't gone to the middle, hasn't farmed. He's got 23 on wood. He's got 4 on gold.
It's not even the fishing ship. It's the villager that's trying to take the shorefish that is being burned by the fire galley.
Wow.
Dude, there's no food eco whatsoever. Look at the mill. Hera didn't have a mill, Tristan. He needs a mill to farm, and he's making a mill in the center of nothing.
There was no reason to mill. There was no reason to mill because there was no zebra. Oh, God. This is where... And Hera probably knows it. He's like, damn it. I defended from all of this. I had the attack set. I had the scouts. I had all this. And this is actually where my opponent's strategy is really strong. The idle TC time for Hera is climbing. Viper's got food eco at home with farms and hunts. And the worst part about this for Hera is his scouts were killed at home. And he cannot counterattack with them. So he can't really even do any damage to Viper right now.
God, it's just like if Hera loses the fishing ships and doesn't produce fishing ships, he's always just going to have no food with this strategy, right?
Yeah.
As long as Viper keeps up the pressure, doesn't take any bad fights, and Viper's been doing a fantastic job of not taking terrible engagements. And now we just compare the economies. Hera's still on full recovery mode right now. 29 villagers.
Crazy.
6 on food.
Also, both players lost a villager to something that was an animal here. I don't know. Oh, Hera lost the villager to the elephant in the south here. So, you know, listen, guys, go play the map and come back and tell us how many villagers you lose. Because it is so difficult. It is a map that is complex to watch, but 10 times harder to play. And Viper's done a great job with this strat here. And it feels like in terms of a race to Castle Age, it should be advantage to Viper now. But Hera kills a couple fire galleys. Will almost keep his other fire galley alive on water.
Yep, and that was good micro from both players. And Viper, Hera, Gonna pull the fire galleys back. Hera's gonna start repair. Viper is going to start repairing, and well, Viper's in a much better position economically to go up to the next stage. Hera, he's in recovery mode still, but at least he's got a couple archers, and they're heading across the map. Maybe snipe the hunt from Viper now. He's got his camel kind of hanging out near those villagers, so he definitely knows where to strike. Just has to be sneaky with it.
This is where I think Viper might need to consider Town Watch. Like, just a bit of vision before Castle Age would be so nice. Especially if he's seeing walls from Hera. He doesn't know that Hera just now added farms. So there's some concern here. Being down 2-1. You know, Hera hasn't lost water yet. You haven't killed that many vills from him. That maybe Hera could be up. I mean, Persian economy is superior when compared to the Goths. So, but I mean, Hera, his archers actually just killed the dock villager. So now Viper knows that that's there. And you'd expect Viper to be able to have a few ranged units around to be able to defend from that.
What do you go here in the Castle Age with Goths? What do you make? You making knights
Eco.
or are you making eco?
I think we'll see a stable just for like a knight or two and maybe some scouts to contest for relics. But this map is usually just a boom war in castle with a little relic shenanigans. I mean, Viper stopped making range units. He's got lots of food. I feel like a stable is really smart, and there it is. Hera would love that. Like, that's a big reason you picked the Persians. He made the stable very early, obviously. But Hera hasn't clicked up yet, dude. He's so far away from the next stage.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, Viper didn't really have vision on the lack of food eco from Hera. He knows he killed the hunt, but he didn't see the timing of the farms.
Yep.
So he might assume that Hera is right behind him to Castle Age. That's just simply not the case.
Yep. But Viper, the good news for Viper fans is Viper is not making decisions as if he feels he's behind right now, so he's not taking huge risks. He's playing super safe. So if Viper were to overextend on attacks and then Hera defends from it, and then Viper doesn't have the TCs up faster, then it could be pretty good for Hera. And Hera gets a kill on the skirmisher there. Still is water to worry about, but again, it's like, I don't know how much value they're going to put on that right now. Yeah. Hera's Camel Scout sees the stable, by the way. Hera's Camel Scout has been on point since the start. He saw the barracks, now he sees the stable, and now he's going to full wall himself at home because he knows a knight could be coming.
Yeah, there's the blacksmith from him now. That's good investment on the walls. Like, he's got so many villagers building this because he knows if one knight gets in, it's a nightmare for him.
Yep. And Viper is probably like, huh, he's not up yet. Interesting. Viper has known he's against two docks here for a while. Might just not see him make another ship at this point. So Hera could make fishing ships if he feels like he's won water. And Viper's Camel Scout also active. And Viper drops the second TC. So, like, also Ecotech's a big thing to talk about here. Viper has had Horse Collar for a lot of these farms. So, well, as he adds more farms here in a second, they're going to last a long time. When Hera reaches Castle Age, though, his resources are going to be insane. This is far from over. Viper doesn't have anything to kill him. The knight's going to be awkward, but you'd expect Hera to be able to house wall some of this stuff out for the time being.
Total res collected is super close. It's astonishing,
Persians,
actually.
Persians. Also, you could tell Hera had that 24 on wood and 2 on food, though. Because if you look at what was collected, it's 5,000 wood. But he's turned that into farming eco very nicely, and he can use some of that wood for fishing eco as well if he thinks he's won water, which he doesn't know right now.
Late game. Persians versus Goths.
Wow.
Is this just like a gunpowder fiesta?
Could be.
You know, hand cannon halb?
Yeah, like, I think it would have to be hand cannon for Persians.
Yeah.
Hand cannon Hussar would make a lot of sense for Hera, but then again, it's like, do you really want Hussar when the Goths have infantry? The Vipers found a really good spot to attack. Hera has to delete that farm and place a building here. This is what's going on here, Hera. You gotta.
He won't want to delete it. Nope. It's against his very being. He doesn't want to waste the res. But he does get to Castle Age right as this army comes in, right? He doesn't make camels. He goes for knights initially. And it's only 3 knights from Viper that should be able to be dealt with by the reinforcements coming in from Hera, as long as he quick walls the stuff on the gold. There are a bunch of weak vills up there, so
yeah,
he needs to be careful.
Like, good luck, right? Like, I'm freaking out right now because
What do you mean, good luck? He's fine.
Is this fine? He's incredible.
Look,
He's incredible. But you know what's easier than building 6 houses and 18 palisades is 1 house where the farm was.
No, but then you lose the value on the farm. Right? Oh, there's a dead villager, by the way, on the other farm as well.
I mean, Viper is not going to mind this, right? Seeing all these reactions from Hera, there will be idle time after that. As positions now where Hera's villagers are going to bump into each other. This is amazing for Viper. He's killed a couple villagers with this raid. He's at 54 villagers on 4 town centers. 4.
I know. He added the 2 more behind this. Is kind of crazy, isn't it? He's not really heavy on stone either. He's just got 3 on stone right there. So he's definitely not thinking about, just a super gothic all-in or anything. He knows he's ahead on eco. He's got a good glimpse of what Hera has going on behind these walls now. And maybe that's maybe that was the biggest thing about Viper breaking in, is that he got all the vision on where Hera is currently economically.
Yeah, Viper can now think, oh, my greed is amazing. And of course has plenty of time because Hera's Knights had to come home to defend from this, they could never go forward to pressure Viper. And Viper now even queuing up a couple spearmen in his barracks. He's even adding barracks number 2 and number 3. So yeah, Viper's just thinking about pikemen right now.
Yeah, he's so comfy right now. I love the fact that Hera is adding in so many fish. That is amazing.
Yep.
How many times on this map have we seen players get distracted by the land and then forget that they have full water control and still keep 2 or 3 fish? No, you have to have at least 8 is probably the minimum for a situation like this, and that's going to really help Hera produce villagers. He's got 25 on food right now. It's really solid.
Look at Viper's vision for a second. That is just insane.
He's got everything.
Yeah,
and he knows what's going on in Hera's base, too.
Yep.
At least at the beginning stages of Castle Age. And, well, his 69 villagers is very nice against 52. Plus, he has Wheelbarrow. Basically, the fish are the only thing keeping Hera in this right now.
Yeah, and the Knights. Maybe they could find some kills. Here come the 2 Knights from Hera.
Sanctity came in, by the way.
Nice, yeah. Viper also protecting his monks as he's getting the relics. Viper goes Squires. It's kind of fun to see Squires before Pikemen, right? He's like, I just need speedy Spearmen. He'll probably get Pikemen as well, but... yeah, Viper's got 2 relics at home already, and there's 2 monks with relics in their hands at the moment. This is going to be really tricky from Hera. This would be an amazing comeback from him if he could turn this one around. Still got to get Pikemen, though, Viper. I mean, bonus damage is insane, and yeah, there's Pikemen. Hera, though, maybe looking around, seeing this, will want to kill this monk. Scout is weak, though, and Knight.
Sanctity is big, yeah. Sanctity means you can't really dive that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Pikeman upgrades in. Lightcap from Hera wants to kill the monks. He goes in here. Sanctity. Viper's micro insane, actually, and
Reddit
the Lightcap gets converted.
Reddit is losing their mind right now.
And Hera's losing his mind. The score's 2-2. Viper ties it up. But I think here, this was not the monk, right? This was the recognition from Hera that Viper has completely outboomed me. Oh, actually, and the Knights all died at the same time to the Pikemen.
Oh, okay. That probably compounded the issue. It wasn't just the monk.
Yeah. I mean, Hera's probably like, I have no army. I know Viper's going to have relics. And, I mean, he just added his second TC. Like, this strategy, it's so interesting, right? Because, honestly, it kind of felt like Hera had done everything to prep against it, except for foresee the fact that he was going to run out of food.
It was like, it's a mid-game condition from a super early game attack.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, it's always nuts. Interesting. It's similar to coming forward on like Sakatra and walling in the berries or the stones or the golds super early, right?
Yep.
It's crazy. And Hera obviously wasn't ready for it. Maybe if he plays against this strat 3 or 4 more times, then he's more prepared, or even one more time.
One more time. Yeah, seriously. I think like with the amount of wood he had, if he were to play this again, he would just say, oh, okay, I just need to mill and farm earlier. And it's Hera, right? He loves to do that. So it just, when you're microing the scouts and then the archers and then the water, there's 3 different types of areas you're microing, and it's just not a normal eco setup. So it just kind of slipped his mind there. And that's what pressure does to you, right? That's what innovative strategies can do. And it's been the perfect final so far, right? Different strategies, unique attempts either way, and the score's 2-2. And so game 5 lands madness. We've got the Magyars for Hera. He loves his scouts. This is the perfect map for it. And we've got Viper, who's going for Mezzo yet again on a map that's normally dominated by scouts. In the semifinal yesterday, He went Mayans against Tato, and he just went Eagles, Spears, Archers, just produced out of barracks and ranges all the time. And it became very complicated for Tato to do anything with a scout build. What's up?
I have to restart my game. I'll be right back.
Okay, yep, do your thing, do your thing. So, this is really tricky. So this is the best scout build probably possible in Land Madness here for Hera. Cheaper scouts plus forging. And Hera's got a level of patience with faster units where he usually won't give you a fight that is bad for him, right? He's not going to misjudge it. He's just going to run away, wait for more units, come in when he's ready. So the key here for Viper, now, honestly, it's so complex. There's lots of key elements to how this will play out. But essentially, Viper needs enough Spearmen or Eagles in a position where Hera can't take an engagement against it, and he needs to then give Hera a reason why he has to force a fight against it. And usually what that is would be Archers. So, like, Hera walls up villagers on the wood line. Against infantry, that's fine. If Viper also has Archers there, Hera may be forced to engage, and if Hera is forced to engage, he could lose all of his scouts or his villagers, and his villagers. You just don't know. So it is a multifaceted type of army comp that Viper needs, but it's very slow, and it's always easy for Hera to pick the spots. So if I had to pick a civ here personally, I would pick the Magyars, but the Aztecs can shine if they just don't get killed off early, and it's Viper we're talking about here. So I would expect pre-walls, quick walls, everything to stop Hera from coming forward with the scouts.
Oh, that was an excellent word salad. Dude, you killed like 3 minutes by yourself. That was beautiful. It's like you've done it before, you know?
The word salad. No, it's all good. It's important. We're going to see those Archers next to the Spearmen. You just wait. But
yeah,
I wonder, like, I was thinking as I was word salading, as you so pleasantly described it, I was thinking, like, maybe Hera could open range and go stable later, maybe? But it's probably just not playing towards your strength. That's not a Hera thing.
Dude, you can't open range. Like, opening range on Land Madness, it works sometimes, but it's a great... Oh, he's getting Loom already. It's going up 15 pop.
Hold on. Hold on. Viper's Eagle is weak? Viper brought in an Eagle. Viper stole the boar. Viper stole the boar.
Bro, I wasn't even in the game.
I was talking about strategies.
What are you doing?
I was talking about strategies. I'm sorry.
Finals, bro.
I'm sorry. It was really in-depth, though. So I hope that people appreciate how in-depth it was. Fortunately for Hera... All right, guys, I apologize. Fortunately for Hera, he's recognized that, and he's pushing in as much deer as he can. And there's more out there, Dave. But obviously, that slows down the scout rush here.
Oh, yeah, big time. And that's might be why Hera, ended up getting Loom there, right? Because he was just kind of stalling up, and he felt like, I'm going to spend a little bit more time in the Dark Age than I might otherwise normally. And he's going to push in this final deer, and he's got a ton of villagers on food, but we see a severe lack of food underneath the TC for him there.
Yeah, 100%. And, he also might assume that Viper had also stolen the 2 pigs, which he's just missing. So he's probably going to push all of these deer, and he might get lucky to get the pigs. Hopefully for Hera, he's able to get those pigs as well. And then I think the only thing this really affects is he instead of going 18 pop scouts, he's just going to be like 1 pop later. Should be okay, but obviously Viper's going to be very happy with that. And again, we see in this series the Eagle paying off, right?
If you can slow down the Magyar mass, that's great. Because basically this Civ matchup is like, what time do the Meso Civ get to Castle Age? And are they in a situation to add extra barracks?
Yep.
Basically. And against Aztecs, it always seems like if it's Aztecs against Magyars in Castle Age, the Aztecs can lose like 4 or 5 battles and still win the game. The Magyars need to win every single battle.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like, right?
Nope, you're spot on there. Lots of recovery mechanics available for the Aztecs. The Hera's actually fine here. If this wasn't Land Madness, he would have had the second boar. But also, if it wasn't Land Madness, you wouldn't have had the berries underneath the TC, and you wouldn't have like a dozen groups of deer around the map to be able to save yourself. So, actually, really impressive job from him. In most cases, even if you're not lamed, you're going to stay at home and push in your deer anyways. So Viper is going to click up. And notice how the meta shifted, Dave. Viper's not going for militia. They're just like, screw militia. Militia suck now. Like, last year, people were like, 2 militia, 2 militia, 2 militia. I guess Viper did make militia in the previous game, but...
You don't need militia here. You can just add eagles
Yeah.
once you get to feudal age, right?
Eagle spear, yep.
And sometimes we even see the second barracks.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
earlier than
Valis
the
did
range
that.
sometimes. Yep.
But I think
There's the range right there.
range is key because if you don't range as Viper... I guess I'm catching up here. I was a couple seconds behind you. Viper adds it. But if you don't have the range units, then Eagles and Spears can't kill Hera villagers if you waltz them in. So you have to have an archer or two. And that archer or two is so crucial here for Viper. Ooh. Ooh, Hera underneath the TC a little bit. Cheeky from Viper, but Hera gets away. All right.
Viper stretching out for that gold, and it's not too far away from his base, but it is really his only gold option.
Yep.
And it is forward there, so he's going to have to make sure that he's keeping at least one spearman at home until Hera gets the massive scouts up, and Viper loses the eagle.
That, to me, I know it's Viper, and I know he's incredible, but that should be expected. You can't send a weak eagle forward.
No,
unless you have a
nowhere
spear
near
with it.
Hera's base.
Yeah.
Yeah, not against Magyars.
Yeah.
You're going to lose that thing.
So if he's
But,
ever
he
missing
could have
an eagle-
easily... He could have lost it at home too, Tristan, and maybe that gave him the information that he needed, right? The eagle was basically at home there. He hadn't seen any increased scout production. He saw the stable with his eagle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the only information he needed to confirm that it wasn't going to be a range opening.
Yeah,
from
that's
Hera,
true.
because sometimes that happens with Magyars.
Should mention now, Hera's adding the range, right? And what you would want against those skirms would be the eagles. Viper has one in queue. Viper's kept himself protected. Hera added the range a bit earlier than he would normally do in a Lands Madness game, but it's the correct reaction. His scout gets destroyed on the way forward, though.
Instantly. Bye-bye. Night-night, Scout, as the archers make their way across. I think Hera will kind of trade that unit for information that army's coming, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So at least it gives him something.
The tricky thing here is you're now spending food. As Hera gets housed, Hera needs a house here. You're now spending food on skirms. And you're also spending wood on the skirms as well, so you might not be able to get the scout number. And he's hoping he can get value with his scouts on the front. He goes in against Viper's spear here, and he's going to get it. A good play from him. Viper a little bit exposed there. And Viper saw the skirms, so he backs up. And he's going to be bringing his eagles forward, I imagine. But it's just one eagle.
Viper goes for a second barracks, so we're going to see more eagles.
Yep. And we're going to see more scouts, and we are going to see more skirms. And those skirms, honestly, forget about the archers. The archers are only important for villager kills. It's the skirms against the spearmen that's going to matter the most here, because the scouts will beat eagles in a feudal age war. I think if Viper had that eagle, he's not running away from the skirms right now. He's not producing any more eagles. It feels like Viper wants to go Castle Age or something. Like he's really going to play defensive here.
Maybe. It might just be feeling out the waters, right? Maybe he can get a good engagement against the scouts, and then he starts to add a few more eagles against the skirmishers. Maybe he'll be forced into a tower, and then it's a little bit easier to go to Castle Age if you're towering this gold area. He goes for a blacksmith, and yeah, eagle production starts up right now. We're wondering why he didn't start that earlier.
Yeah, just this, big time player, but a big time moment, right? And lots of stress. Hera getting housed temporarily. Couple things going to happen. Either player here, big moment. Armor's on the way. Now again, Hera just needs to use the skirms against the spears. I don't actually think the archers are of value to Viper long term. And it's all going to be happening right here for Viper. He's even going to take the second area, berries. He's just massing these units, and both players have a pretty significant mass. Hera needs fletching, and he might need to consider some scout upgrades soon, so a blacksmith is needed for him at home. Oh, goodness.
Still just kind of maneuvering. Oh, man. We're one fight away from this kind of snowballing.
Yeah, I know.
For sure.
Dude, I would have fought and lost or fought and won by now, right? Like, the level of patience to have right next to your gold is just unbelievable. But it's good micro from Viper, and he's got good upgrades now. And, like, Hera has the forging upgrade that he started with here, but still no fletching on his skirmishers. A little questionable, I feel. But he might be just prioritizing the numbers right now, and I'm sure when he starts getting the upgrades, much like Viper, they're going to fly in.
Viper's got a lot of spearmen here, dude.
Yeah, and Hera can't get in close. Archers from Viper have actually killed a lot of skirmishers back there, too. And no armor for the skirms from Hera means, especially with Viper being on the hill, means that the skirms will take damage. Still no blacksmith upgrades from Hera. And Hera won't be able to take an easy engagement against Viper here if Viper has that many spearmen.
Standoff.
Yeah.
What a standoff here. Huge armies, and both players just refuse to dive. The KD is 6-4 right now. Hera seems comfortable with the fact that he's slowly producing scouts, and a lot of his scouts have full HP now.
Yep.
And Fletching coming in for his skirmishers. Viper seems comfortable with his spearman number, and he continues to produce eagles and does have that armor upgrade, but I feels like Hera is just bloodlines and some cav upgrades away from being able to take this.
But there's 9 spears. 9 of them. It's so many spears. And
at what point does Hera leave with the scouts and try and mix it up?
Never.
Like go to the left side?
Never. No,
Okay.
like, I think we might even see him... Before that, I think he might bring villagers forward and tower as he takes the engagement. Because then it's like, if I win the fight and I take his gold, I win the game.
Bloodlines, armor. Skirmishers are trying to take care of the spearmen here. The spearmen do have the armor.
Viper forgot his archers
as well.
Okay, now Fletching's in, so spearmen starting to get whittled down. A lot of the spearmen are weak. Viper on the hill. Viper getting forging now. The eagles are chipping away.
Dude, this is so deliberate from both. Viper's like slowly pushing forward. Hera's sniping the spearmen one at a time, and it's not too many spearmen. There's only 4 of them. 2 more coming, though, as the eagles take the engagement, and the scouts are doing really well against those eagles.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's enough for Hera. It's like he has cleared up a lot here, but he's still not gonna be able to win this fight. Is this an even fight? It's an even fight. Pretty much,
kind of
but Viper's got 14 units behind it.
Remember what I said earlier, the Aztecs can lose a ton of fights.
Yep.
The Magyars can't really afford to lose one. Now, we're not in Castle Age yet, so it's going to be a lot more forgiving here. The production speed for the Eagles is a lot slower in Feudal Age, and it looks like Viper is going to take this opportunity to now go up to Castle Age as Hera tries to mix stuff up and run around with his scouts, but Viper still has his archers alive for sniping these villagers.
Hera needs a big fight here. He needs a good engagement. Viper is like kind of acting as if, this is my opportunity. I'm going to push forward and I'm going to fight you. Probably to force more production out of Hera here. And Hera would probably make the units anyways. But realistically, Viper just wants to wait 2 minutes now before taking any fights. If you watch the Hera Yo series, you have seen a moment where Yo, in a similar spot, who also went Aztecs, took a fight right before Castle Age and lost his numbers. Look at Viper now. He could go forward, but he knows Hera's going to produce. Hera's looking for me. I've got some weak units here. He needs to fall back, and this is the perfect call from Viper. Hera, though, I love this. He knows what he's doing, and so stops production is now going forward. So good. Dude.
Yeah, I think Hera just always knows that Viper clicks up after that fight.
Yeah.
It's just not Viper's style to be like, ooh, what is Viper doing with this villager all the way on the right side? Or the top, the north?
Good question.
Where's she
very
going?
good question. Could it be a gather point issue, and then she just is going to make houses now?
No, she made a house there. I think it might, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
It wouldn't be too crazy from us to assume that it's deliberate if Viper does something. But, he did just win the previous game after losing a villager to a rhino, so it's really hard to say. Villager goes down. Viper doing a great job with these spears still, and he's just waiting. In 20 seconds, these eagles become stronger than the scouts. Hera wants the fight, but I think Viper will take it because Viper has the spears. Hera's taking the fight because he knows this will be worse for him.
Yep.
Is
that's
that
a lot of dead scouts there
for Viper? I think it is fine.
I think it is because he has the production speed now from the Eagles, right? He's going to have 3 barracks producing them. He clears up the range units. He clears up the scouts. And he still has the archers alive, which could come into play later.
Yeah.
As more Eagles are coming onto the field. Hera, 25 seconds away, not just from being able to produce knights, but he will get iron casting on all of his units as well.
Viper needs a gold, Dave. He is TCing the...
Maybe that's what he was looking for. He missed the gold north of that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what that villager was looking for.
I mean, TCing the stone is not part of your plan. He's selling stone. He has a gold to the left. I feel like Viper maybe was a little impatient here with this TC timing. And he should have just TC'd that gold in the left. Great job from Hera. Like, I know that Hera lost scouts there, but scouts still cost food, right? So that actually made it a bit easier for him to defend the follow-up attack from Viper. And Hera in Castle Age, making knights, making scouts, dropping his second TC, trying to kill a Viper villager here on the farm. Will get it. And Hera's killed Eco. Viper has not this game. Crazy stuff.
Villagers now stretching out to the left. Viper actually still selling stone. He's now buying some wood, so he's looking for another TC over on that gold, and he's going to have gold access. It's a pretty far afield, though, and I don't know when he's going to find that gold to the right side of his base, because that would be far easier to get to.
Yeah. Maybe his villagers will go a little bit too far for the hunt or something. I mean, Viper's on stone. He's not that far removed from outposting. This is not an all-in from Viper. This is defense and booming from him. He's going to hope to get conversions eventually. Hope his pikemen and eagles can play defensive. But you now have Hera, who's Magyars, who has the +2 attack already. He's in a position to try and pick you apart. And the areas you get worried about is like kind of everywhere. The golds, the stones, the wood. Like, Land Madness is not a defensive map. Viper's going to have his work cut out for him here.
It's interesting that Hera continues adding archers here without the crossbow upgrade. You feel like you have bloodlines already.
Yeah.
Your Magyars. Just add in a couple cav archers.
Yeah, I can see it.
They'll get the damage against the pikemen. I mean, crossbow are going to be better against pikemen earlier on, but you don't have the crossbow upgrade yet.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of strange.
Oh, interesting timing here. Viper had queued a house to be built after that tree goes down in the wood line. Never mind, he's fine. Like have died from Hera. Viper reacts. Viper with a villager lead. Viper with an army lead. Viper with a TC lead. Hera on 2, though. And Hera is not going to take any bad fights because he has the speed. Viper quick walls. Viper traps.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude. Oh, no. Never going to happen.
So
should have gone for a gate there.
And this is Hera on the prowl. I'm completely washed. I could see a world where, like, Viper stone count's making me think he wants a castle, but, like, what?
It's making me think he has limited gold access.
And
just really wants to keep selling it because he sold another 300 there.
That's true.
He's got some eagles in the back, but Hera's been tracking this. Hera did lose a villager.
Yep.
And he might actually lose a second one and maybe even a third or a fourth. But Hera is keeping tabs on that situation. He's got cavalry coming back, and now he's going for a forward siege workshop. Viper playing kind of a little bit unorthodox with the Aztecs here, right? Usually the Aztecs are just spamming units, 1 TC, all-in push, but he's gone for the more defensive angle.
This is also...
We'll see if he can keep it up.
Like, patience and booming is also something that Viper loves to do, right? It's just it's also something that Hera typically does a pretty good job at punishing.
Well, Hera uses his mobility so well.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to start to see that pretty soon. He's got light cav all over the place. He's got little groups of knights. He's got a monk through this. What is going on through the center there?
Neither player knows what's happening. Just
Viper's
passing.
Like, please don't notice. Please
just
don't notice.
passing. What is that?
Hera lost 2 knights against those pikemen, too.
Yeah, but Hera now knows the pikes are forward and is underneath Viper's TC, and Viper's going to get massacred there.
Yep.
So, actually pretty good for Hera, all things considered. He kills quite a few villagers of Viper's base. Viper, I don't know why he's trying to counterattack with pikemen right now.
Oh, Viper lost all of those villagers underneath his base. Look at the eco KD. It went from 0-0 or maybe 1-0 to 13-2 in a second.
And he loses all of his monks as well. Like, why did Viper want to move out with pikemen there? It felt like the timeline was
Eagles
defense.
are in the back, though, of Hera's base. Eagles are in the back of Hera's base once again.
Ooh. Now, not Eagle Warriors. They're not as strong. Nice reaction there from Hera, though. Hera won't lose as much as Viper just did, and Hera has a siege workshop waiting. It feels like if there was ever a moment for Hera to crank it up a notch, this might be it, but actually Hera lost a lot in the back. Holy crap.
Yeah, he lost a lot there. Lost a ton of villagers. Was so exposed, but he's in on the gold now. The Mangonel finds itself some targets, and the Knights find a hole to wander through, I think between that house and the archer range. As Viper is cut off of that area, he goes for another TC on the gold to the right as he tries to defend with monks, but it's getting tough now.
The interesting thing is, the resource that Viper has struggled the most with has been gold and like wood, right? And those are things that you normally see a lot of. He has now TC'd that gold, like you said, so that's really important. He still has the stone for a castle soon. But he's really going to have to use the market to stabilize his eco. And Hera drops the 3rd TC. What I've loved for Hera here is what he's done with his eco when he's completely untouched.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, crazy stuff, man. He's got 40 on food right now.
I think a bunch of those were on like berries and stuff, so he's kind of like shifting them around.
Yeah.
And he's just now adding in a 3rd TC, but you made a good point about Viper struggling for gold and wood, right? And that's just a casualty of playing defensive with the Aztecs, I think.
Yeah.
You're not going for that 1 TC aggressive push, so you don't have your villagers allocated in the right spots for your army. Viper, though, still alive. 82 population, gets 97.
Has redemption.
Crossbow upgrade is coming in for Hera, and like you said, redemption is in. So Hera's going to have to be really active with these light caps.
This is so good. Like, Hera needs to find some open spots in the back. Viper's woodline's been over-chopped. Hera, he says, okay, you're going to push me there. I'm going to go to the left. So good again. It does not care about the TC fire. I like it. Viper will have lots of idle time here. But Viper's army count is getting dangerous for Hera. It's a lot of pikes and monks. Viper's able to get a conversion on the knight. That knight could be used against some of Hera's crossbows and also against Hera's siege. But Hera correctly backed up with the siege there.
God, Hera even raiding at the back there. Hera's eco is so far in front of Viper's.
Yeah, it's insane.
81 to 60 and the eco upgrade advantage.
Yeah. I mean, Viper's still got tons of gold, and with Aztecs, you can always come back with an eco deficit and gold, though. And, like, the combination of Monk Pike is really hard for Hera to deal with. It's why Hera's going for crossbows. A good decision. I think that for him, he doesn't have as much faith in the Cav Archers if you're combining it with the Knights. But I would like to see that be an option for Hera here. Probably too late, though.
I mean, I think he's probably got this game at this point. The university is coming in. He's going to get ballistics as long as he gets his gold situation under control. 0 on gold for Hera.
But like,
he starts to add in more crossbows.
But like, Viper's just frozen, right? He's just completely frozen here. He's trying to react to all these different areas, and Hera's going to see this. He's going to take a fight. Viper has to react more, and then Hera's going to push elsewhere, right? We know exactly how this is going to go. And Viper needs some type of fight to break this trend. And his monks are going to be spotted by Light Cav, and Hera doesn't quite get through there to kill more monks. These are tough monks to kill, but this is what he needs to do, Dave. He just needs to continue that.
Yep.
More
Reddit
villagers
was on the
from
phone
Viper
there
going
saying
down.
that the monks never died at the light cap there, and they didn't.
Yeah. It's amazing. Light Cav actually forced Viper from not moving out across the map. Viper's pikemen dying to crossbows here. Like, this combination from Hera is incredible. Kills another monk. Monks are expensive. And Viper's going to call the GG.
He has enough for another castle, too. Yeah, Viper calls the GG, because even in the late game, even if you get to Imperial Age with equal eco and you're sharing the map, Magyars are probably going to win that. Their late game is incredible. There's no win condition past this for Viper. Hera just doing a fantastic job with the Knights and the Light Cav, using the mobility, and then making the switch to crossbows at the perfect time. And Viper, like you said, he's stun locked.
Yeah, I mean,
no options.
There were some issues for Viper when he was in Castle Age faster and he made his second TC on stone. That, to me, was a failure to recognize where the gold was. And while he didn't see some of the gold in the back of his base or in the north, he did know the gold to the left. And when you see a guy sell like 1,000 stone throughout a game, and they're not Saracens, you start to feel like, you know, if you're relying on the market that heavily, that maybe the eco setup wasn't quite there. But, you know, I want to circle it back to my long little word salad that I had in the first couple minutes, where I talked about what the Aztecs typically want to do in Feudal. They want the ranged units and the spearmen to be at the scout player's base. And Hera was never really troubled in Feudal. Like, they were doing their little dance all in front of Viper's base. And then, yeah, Viper gets a clear up of sorts and hits Castle Age faster. But again, when was Viper at Hera's base in early Castle? It just didn't happen. So that was a great job from Hera to hold control with the army there. And Viper's just unable to find the counter damage. Because I think if he finds like 5 to 10 Vil kills with early Eagles before Light Cav and Knight comes out, then it's like 3 or 4 TC, defend with monks, stabilize your eco, you destroy. But God, man, does Hera make it look easy? It was so smooth.
Should Viper have pushed after that win in Feudal Age? Should he have gone for that all-in Feudal Age approach.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially could have moved forward there. The argument to fall back, though, is there, too, because you don't want to lose your units. That's why I felt like that fight that Hera took right before Viper hit Castle, Hera lost scouts, but he got the best value he could have against Viper's Eagles from that point forward, right? Because Viper got his upgrades in. But really tricky stuff. Viper now has to win 2 straight to win the finals. Remember, last year's finals, Viper was able to get the win 4-1. Hera here to show he's going to win here season number 3. More food, more wood for Hera. There's a theme here. Loves his food eco and loves his light cav. And, yeah, Viper was a minute faster to Castle Age. Wasn't able to use it. He's got Fractal available on his home map side. Viper, if he feels like that's the most strategic map, the trickiest map that he could surprise Hera with something on, though, should maybe try and go to Hera's home map for Game 6 and save Fractal for
He
Game
usually
7.
does. Like, if there's a choice, Viper will go to his opponent's home map.
Yeah.
I've seen it many times, right? Because he wants to be, like, he's going to have to win both now regardless.
Yep.
And he wants to be coming home on his strength.
Viper's going to go Sicilians here.
Oh my
God,
dude. Oh my God. I was, my mic was muted and I was literally like, Tristan, join the game. And then I realized I was muted on my own stream too. That's the mute button. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Sicilians for Viper, Malians for Hera. Here we go. This is Hera's home map. And as is the trend now, we have a Civ with a previously thought of as terrible unique unit that has now been exposed as amazing.
It's been
the
exposed.
Sicilians. And I am here live with the exposer of the strategy.
the exposer indeed. Yes. Hi. Nice to finally be able to talk about this strategy publicly. Yeah, I mean, listen, you putting strategy, made a bunch of videos on it. And then there's other players that kind of perfected it, made it better since. Lots of pros have been trying it. Tato, Viper's teammate, tried it against Doubt in the round of 12 on this map. He made Donjons, he made the Sergeant, and he was aggressive. And it did not work at all. It was a big, like, wah, 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 because the theme on this map has been you need to have fish, right? And so if you don't have the fishing eco, you're going to fall behind economically, even if you control some of the golden stone in the middle. But my thinking is, like, if the strat is truly bad, you wouldn't expect Viper to pick it in a final, right? I imagine that some discussions were had on what could have been tweaked. So maybe Viper still wants to rely on Sergeants, but will prioritize the water first, and he won't, like, go crazy YOLO with the Sergeant play.
Yeah, you don't need to go crazy YOLO. What if you just have a couple Sergeants?
Yeah.
And they're wandering around and causing havoc, right? And keeping your opponent away from the center. You still have access to Donjons, which could be huge here.
Yep.
You still have faster building TCs, which could be massive on the center. And you still have extra stone, which could be amazing too. So there's things that are happening for this Civ other than just the all-in strategy.
Yeah. I have to say, though, this makes me so happy, dude. Like, the amount of times I've said to a pro over the years, like, listen, this strat's really good. You should try it. And they're just like, oh, it's so stupid, right? And where I just gave up ever trying to tell them or show them, to then show people you pudding, then have Viper be all over the you pudding hype, Doubt, and all this, and now see this in the final of Titans League Season 3 is really exciting. So, makes me happy, and I'm sure I mean, how does you pudding feel? You pudding's probably like, yo, let's go. In fact, we should bring in you pudding to give us some insights right now, if anything. Oh, God. But
you're gonna do like a 60 for 60 on you pudding.
100%.
Is it 30 for 30 or 60 for 60? I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Create our own Age of Empires version of whatever that is. So a big thing here, though, if this fails miserably for Viper, is that Viper he's in a bit of a pickle with his Civ draft. His best civilization left is the Japanese, but he needs 2 wins. So, oh my God, Viper almost lost to Vil. I'm okay, but Viper has essentially said, the hardest game for me is going to be this game, and then I will have my best civilization save for game number 7. So he's not just going for the YOLO, thinking it's his best strategy. I think that this is still a bit of a risk in his mind.
Mm-hmm. What if he ends up fish trapping his own pond with Sicilian. He did it with Malay.
Dude, stop bringing that up. Sobek's probably watching right now. He doesn't want to be reminded. Yeah, I mean, keep the food eco safe or something. Well, the big question now is, will Viper go fast castle? Because the U-putting strategy is not strong because of feudal age sergeants. It's because of the stat increase with castle age sergeants.
I think the answer is no. With the amount of fishing ships he's made here and the build-up so far, hasn't gone out to gold yet. Feels like that's not going to be the case. And Hera's actually going to...
Trap? Viper wants to trap. Viper wants to trap. Viper wants to trap. Viper wants to trap. Viper's going to trap. Viper's going to trap. Scout is trapped from Hera.
Bing! Got him.
Got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And Hera is not going to like that.
Don't open the gate, villager.
Now they'll go back.
Do not open this gate. Thank you.
It's kind of funny. It's like, zoom in on the scout. It kind of looks like he's trying to talk to somebody right now. It's like if you were to visit...
speak to your manager.
It's like if you go visit somebody in prison. That's what this looks like. They're like, let me out. Anyways, Viper wall in the middle right now. And this seems eerily similar to what Tato did against Doubt. Actually, no, I think Doubt had gone to the middle. Wait a second. What if Doubt went to the middle in that series because he knew what Tato was going to do? So immediate Donjon in the middle. Immediate.
There is all sorts of things going on here. Hera is also sending a villager forward.
Okay.
To presumably dock there. Viper's got that scout trapped, but he can't really do anything about it right now.
Yeah.
He's actually housed at 25 pop. He had all of feudal age, or Dark Age to think about that and still didn't make a house there. We'll go for Town Watch instead, and now he's adding the donjon in the center.
So, surprise, surprise. Like, Hera's going to do what he won 3 or 4 Eldorados with in group stage. He's going to wall. He's not going to make land army, and he's going to try and win water. And the forward dock is part of that. It's a really good idea here. But, you know, if Viper starts to send a sergeant or two, not a lot of them, just like 1 or 2, like you said, into Hera's eco, it's kind of hard to stop these things because they are pretty strong.
And Viper, I mean, there's no scout to help this from Hera, right? He has full vision of what Viper's doing in the center, and now there's going to be no scout for Viper because Hera just trapped him in.
Oh, Hera's like, you do it to me? No, I do it to you, and I'll kill that scout. Meanwhile, Hera's scout is like, gonna burn. So I'm not sure. Would you prefer to be smacked by villagers and die or burned to death? Oh, Hera just
a temporary reprieve. Yep, he pulled him away.
He pulled it away.
Of a tile.
And that's like so unhelpful right now to Hera, but it's just every little detail seems to matter to these guys.
That just sucks if you're Viper too, because you don't want to go for a galley over there. Fire galley now coming up from Viper. From Hera, and Viper is sending the 2 fire galleys over to the right side to intercept the one coming forward from Hera as the sergeants already make their way into the gold from Hera. Wheelbarrow is coming in.
Dave, how do you fight off the freaking pudding, dude? You can't fight the unit that's building this thing. Viper's going to try and take Hera off gold. Now Hera's going to fight it, and now suddenly you've got a sergeant in your face. This is the problem with the strategy, or playing against the strategy, is that is extremely annoying.
Still no armor for those sergeants, though.
Yeah, true.
And if Viper wants to go up to Castle Age, that's a big investment that he can't really afford. But he has the sergeants just kind of chilling here as he's trying to defend his fish at home. Hera goes for a second forward dock.
Yeah, Hera's like, I will win the fish here. I will win the water. And it makes it harder for Viper to be aggressive on the front as well. So it kind of goes
Hera
both ways.
also exploring. He looked for that second donjon. He knew it was coming from Viper, and he's found it with the villagers, and right now 2 sergeants is not enough.
Yep, that'll go down.
This,
and Hera is gonna lose one of his fires, but kill some of Viper's fires. Hera's putting a lot of pressure on Viper's fish right now. And did Viper delete the donjon? I think he lost it.
No, he didn't. He lost it.
Huge defense from Hera then.
Yep.
And this is what Hera would want.
Scout from Hera, and Viper's gonna lose those sergeants. Viper is kind of dealing with the fires at home, but Hera is gonna be applying a ton of pressure there. And Viper still no market, still no way to get up to Castle Age.
Yeah, Sergeant is just slicing through the scout here because Hera had looked away and probably on water. But again, the U-putting play is Viper's going to kill the scout, like you mentioned. The U-putting play works because Castle Age Sergeants are impossible for Feudal Age units to kill. We are still in the Feudal Age for the Viper, but he's got the gold available at home. He's got the stone available at home as a fallback. as he has been freely mining a ton of gold and stone in the middle. Eco still relatively even, but lovely stuff from Hera to fish behind this to get more and more food eco.
Viper needs a market, big time. Doesn't have it though.
Need a mill, probably. Neither player probably has a mill at this stage. Water micro, important. Hera pulling back a little late, maybe. Oh, that's so close. If Viper had a demo right now, that would be sick. Hera actually sending a demo
Hera
there.
going for a demo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's making a second one too.
Oh, jeez. Oh, dude, this is going to be the best demo of the season here if Hera gets in the right spot, because Hera's got Navy on the other side. Oh, boy. This is going to be rough for Viper's fishing eco. Here comes the demo. Viper must see it. And it's the worst demo. But no.
I knew. As soon as you said it's going to be the best demo of the season, I absolutely knew that was going to be a dud. 100%.
I mean, in all fairness, it was still really good. And now he's killing Viper's fish. He's got his scouts trying to hit Viper right now. And Viper is behind here. He saved the Japanese for Game 7, where he feels like he could win on his home map. But
and Hera finds the villagers making the market. This is huge.
Yeah, he does. There is a spearman, though. There's a spearman. Viper's got lots of food underneath his TC. The key for Hera now is actually just like 10 fishing ships at home, and then he'll have enough of a lead to go to Castle Age with. He's making a market himself. Both players will click up to Castle Age soon. Viper still with control in the middle. What I'm thinking is like, if Viper can click up, then just focus on Sergeants and building the donjon, that's when Hera could have some problems. Viper even more villagers to the middle.
Slower than Hera. He still builds castles faster. It is worth pointing out.
Yep.
Sicilians, that bonus did get a little bit nerfed, as the scouts from Hera will find the exposed villager in the north from Viper. He's still trying to hold on the water. But Sicilians still build 50% faster with their castles. So if Viper wants to go for something aggressive, maybe feels like he can get away with it. Hera's actually going for a second stable, so he is going to have military on the field if Viper wants to go for that option.
And Hera will just go full scouts. I think Viper's in big trouble. You just go full scouts, and then he's on stone. He's going to drop a castle in the middle. This is Hera's. Hera has worked so hard to get to this point in this game, right? A lot of crazy things have happened, but this is his thing, and this is what has worked for him 4 different times throughout this season. The forward dock, the full scout play.
I think Viper was counting on the sergeants to do a lot more damage than they actually did.
Yep. It's just Castle Age. That's where it's insane. But you need the food.
But I mean, credit to Hera, because he sent a villager out to explore that second donjon foundation.
Yeah, that's true.
On his goal.
Yep, that's true.
You know, he couldn't see it, but he did send a villager out to scout there just in case, found it, and then battered it down. So that was a really, really good response from him.
Where do you place the castle if you're Hera? The donjon kind of makes it awkward.
I think you got to go like right up against that stone on the right side of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Squeeze it in right next to the gold. Even if the donjon's garrison, I still think you can complete it.
Or do you go all the way in the north, over on the other side?
You could do either. Viper sees
Or do you go on Viper's TC?
Yeah, well, you gotta get the
Hang
gold.
on.
Whoa,
there it is.
Whoa. That's a little close there, buddy. That's a little close there, Hera.
That is a donjon that can garrison 10 villagers inside. What? As Viper goes for a barracks over here. That's very interesting. Starts to build another donjon.
The donjon's not firing arrows here.
Mind was not made up, and the donjon was hitting the castle. It wasn't hitting the villagers.
Yeah.
And this could be it for Viper.
This could be it. This could be the final right here. Castle will go up. Hera knows it. Viper's villagers, because he's doubling down, are all going to be exposed here. The gold in the middle will not be enough. And Viper congratulates him as Hera wins Season 3 here. A crazy final. We knew Viper was going to try the pudding, but just like his teammate in the round of 12, it's just not quite enough. Hera stuck to the fish on the outside. He threw back any attacks. He even killed Viper's scout, like as kind of a response to his own scout being trapped. And Hera wins Season 3. It was a really good final, Dave.
That was fantastic. And I think the level was extraordinary, right? We saw it with the little micro engagements and everything. We saw a few mistakes, but very, very limited mistakes.
Yep.
And I love the fact that like the meta is so evolved after the entire season of gold and platinum that we get to the point where players are already trying to counter a strategy they assume is coming. and then they get countered themselves by an older strategy that isn't as popular anymore. And that just shows how many games they've put in and how many games they've watched.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for Viper, he may have some regrets, not on this game, but what he chose for Land's Madness. I didn't realize it when I saw the pick for Land Madness, but after the fact, if you look at the draft, Viper, he had Franks and Aztecs, and I feel like Aztecs are more viable here on El Dorado and on the what could be the final map, Fractal. Had he won with Aztecs, he then just needs one more win. We never see Sicilians, we never see Franks, we see Japanese, and it's fine. But having lost with Aztecs then, Japanese was the only civilization of his civilizations remaining that really fit in terms of top-tier strategy, and he wanted to save that. Franks, a third pick for Viper, never got to really fit in any of the situations because it was primarily a Land Madness pick. So that's like in an era of drafting and strategies and, you know, planning things out, that is really good draft foresight from Hera, because even if we saw, obviously he wins here with Malians, but if we see Game 7, he still also then has Portuguese available, which I think has been picked more than even Japanese on Fractal. So,
well, with his consistency, Hera can just, you know, he has a good draft like this and he feels comfortable with every single civ.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, the other thing about Hera, which is, I think important to mention, is like that Poles victory, that was him with a late pick getting wins today, right? I guess Viper had the Goths, but the Poles victory feels really sweet draft-wise because you beat Viper's #1 pick, which makes it more awkward for Viper in theory later on. So a great final. I mean, listen, obviously, I don't think Viper would have wanted to win here, but I don't think Viper could say that he's too disappointed with his performance. I'll leave that up to him, obviously. You can ask him, but I think he played really well today. It's just Hera improved all season. Ever since like the second round in groups when he lost a round, you could just tell there was a switch that went off for him, and the practice paid off here.
Yeah, and Hera really thought about the maps based on what he saw from other players too.
Yep.
Right. Very, very, very clearly exemplified by that Game 1.
Yeah, I know. It's like
maybe thought about it a little bit too much.
I wonder if Hera would trade, like, trade this win for Game 1 victory, because I feel like, you know, the Archer surprise killing the villagers would have felt so good, right?
Yeah.
So good stuff. I'm gonna see. I didn't talk to players ahead of time about an interview, so I don't know if that's realistic for us right now or not. I'm gonna see. I feel like we should possibly interview Hera, ask him a few questions.
Hello, hello.
Yo, what's up, man? Congratulations. We should have Dave joining in a second.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Perfect. All right, Hera, I'm gonna boost you up, man. Congratulations, winner of season 3. How you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm feeling great actually, and I'm very happy to be able to, I don't know, win the Titan League for the first time. So that feels extra special.
Nice. I mean, the whole series was fantastic. Like, did you feel like how did you feel coming into the series today? Did you think you were a favorite? How did you feel about your gameplay? Just give me all your thoughts.
I thought it was pretty 50-50 actually, because I've been watching what Viper was doing, and Viper was playing pretty well throughout the entire season.
Yeah.
So I knew it was probably 50-50, and I think we have certain maps that favor him and certain maps that favor me, and a lot in the middle. And when I say favor, it's like 55-45. So yeah, I think it was definitely a close match.
Got it. So Game 1, how much of your strategy there was because you'd seen Viper go Bohemians before?
Yo, okay, first thing I'll say about that strat, I don't regret going for it. I know I lost, but if he went for the forward castle, which he did against Classic Pro, and which a lot of people were doing, I would win the game on the spot. I practiced with Heart, the same timing, 14:30, Vills are moving forward, 15 minutes, the castle's there. I got 8 archers with fletching, game's over. Yeah. But I don't know. I want to talk with Viper about this. I don't know what he was thinking. He just went for a boom, which, just for the viewers as well, if I did a classic 2TC Cumin boom, I would be up like 20 Vils by the time I'm in early to mid castle age. So I'm not sure if that was something he's okay with, or if he expected me to do this archer's cheese. But I was surprised it didn't work. Yet I still like that I went for it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Versus like 2CC booming and then having wagons in your face if he does get the castle down.
yeah. It's if he gets a forward castle on 2TC booming, it's GG. So try something fun, and unfortunately, it didn't work out.
At what point did you realize, like, oh crap, he's
Well,
he's just booming, bro? Like, damn it.
yeah. As soon as he hit Castle Age, I'm like, okay, where are the bills? I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm ready for him, and then nothing came. I was like, okay, maybe he's on the other side. So I went to scout the other side, saw nothing. I'm like, okay, I'm screwed. And yeah, at that point, I just realized the game's over.
I saw you scouting like the edge of the map north of your base with your archers, and I'm like, damn, that's a desperation moment.
Yeah. I just thought like maybe Viper's sneaking it or something, but yeah. You know how it was going at that point.
Game 2 was Spiral, and you went for the poles, and that map is very typically about like expanding your eco. It goes late game, having map control and whatnot. Did you draft the poles against Yo? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think you did. And were you thinking of hiding that strategy, and that's why you went Spanish against Yo? Like, my thought was that was a pre-planned strat that you only wanted to maybe show in the finals. I'm not sure.
No,
I forget.
Yo took my polls, by the way. I didn't have it. He
took your polls. Okay, so were you planning on picking polls in that draft?
Yeah, I wanted it. I was talking again with Hearts, and we were saying like we were doing practice drafts, and we said he likes polls, but we're like, no way he's gonna pick them like that early, and then he just picks them like second rotation. So yeah, he took them, and I went Spanish. But I've been cooking polls for a long time, and I have a funny story actually. I was practicing with ACCM, believe it or not, every single night. ACCM and I practicing since like the group stage, and we call him the chef because he was cooking up some spicy strats. And to counter him, I had to start cooking myself. So that's why the polls came out. I had a few others prepared as well, and yeah, we were just going back and forth with the special strats every night. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean that game. You had collected 29,000 more resources in that game.
Oof.
Like you had the lead
God.
for a while, sure, but the Vil count wasn't that different. It was just all the Polish eco that you had. It was crazy.
But why was it so hard for me to win if I had 29k more? Like that like props to Viper for dragging it on, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you're patient with your position, right? You didn't want to overextend, and you just kind of ground him down until he didn't have wood left. So.
Yeah, makes sense.
I've completely forgot the order of the games. I know you won game number 3, which
I think it was Costa Mountain, or no, it was Socotra. Socotra was game number 3.
Got it. To be honest, not the most interesting game to ask questions on there, Hera, but I'll throw you a softball. What were you thinking when you went in having Mayans against Teutons there?
I knew if I lame him early, I should win. The one moment where I feel like I did like one good play was when he came forward with the towers, and I just had to like not get into a tower over Teutons. So I thought I was a bit patient there.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably his win condition. But yeah, I think just Mayans laming is super OP on that map. So as long as they don't, like I said, make a mistake or get like siege push or anything, it's completely fine.
Yeah. And you picked Mayans first, obviously, so you really value that with your draft as well, which makes sense.
Game 4, though, Costa Mountain. After you take that win, he goes for Goss and he lames all your Zebra. At what moment did you realize that there was simply no food left on the map?
Oh man, that was definitely the most frustrating one of the entire series because I know he's killing my deer. I'm trying to win the water, so everything's fine. I have 2 dogs versus 1, and then I look away and I lose the water. I lose on land because I'm getting men arm rushed. I don't have a mill, so I can't make a farm, and I have 0 food. Can't make a Vil.
Yep.
It was an absolute disaster, and the frustration completely built up at that point. I tried a little longer, but I think it was just well played. Like he won even with a lot less in different areas, so props to him there.
Yeah, it was very interesting because I was saying that I think if you play that same situation again one more time, you then have learned, I just have to transition to farms a bit earlier, right? But because it's like you defended so well, it's like the first thing you defend from, you're okay. Second thing, you get to the next step. You got to like the 3rd, 4th step in the rotation, and normally against any strategy, you get to the 3rd, 4th step, and you're good. But then you need the 5th one there, right? And it was just like, oof.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. 100%. Just never got a break there.
Yeah. All right. And then after that, I think this one was kind of the potential straw that broke Viper's back here, at least based on the draft, because he had Franks and Aztecs available for Lands Madness. And I think everyone knew you were probably going to go Magyars, and you saw Aztecs up against you. Was there any recognition that Viper would have to go for something like wacky in the future potentially? If you won Land Madness there, or were you just like fully focused? How do I stop the Aztecs? What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, I take it one game at a time, and I think in that game he named me a boar, which I think is the first step to winning with Aztecs.
Yeah.
But again, in practice, we did a lot of Mezzo on Land Madness because I wanted to pick it, but then I kept losing as Mezzo due to no map control. So even though I was able to get faster castle, whatever you want, I always had no map, and I'm always getting raided left and right. And so I kind of, I dropped the whole Mezzo idea, and I'm surprised that he went for it over Frank's.
Yeah,
I feel like Mezzo is way too hard to play. You have to like double outplay your opponent to get a win versus strong caps out there.
Yeah, makes sense. Interesting. Little side question before we talk about Game 7. How many practice sets do you think you did between because you had the bye right in the round of 12, so between when you won the group up until the finals?
Oh, I did a lot. I mean, first of all, every night in the last few sets, it's theory draft, couple games, prepare for the next opponent. And then just in preparation, since the group stage even, a little before, we probably did I don't know, maybe 10 to 12, like best of 3, best of 5, maybe 15. So it was definitely, I did it mostly out of just the fun of playing with ACCM and having like heart on voice and whatnot. It was mostly just fun, but
sure.
It definitely helped me prepare for the tournament as well.
Yeah, I mean, it paid off, right? Like the big thing for me that kind of makes the early group stage fun is players are trying to figure things out versus the names that have been promoted, and like that's their opportunity to stay alive, right? And like to get results is if they have better preparation and they're up against someone with better skill, they can maybe do something, right? And like some players were like, okay, I won my group, or I'm second or third in my group, I'm in playoffs, I'm fine. And then like you and Viper both very clearly got better and better and better as things went on, because I mean the preparation paid off. So that was really happy to hear that.
Yeah, 100%. You summed it up well.
Were you scared of Sicilians in Game 7?
No, again, I played against that. I thought ACCM brought everything to the table. Like he tried all kinds of Upering like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
To the point where I was like, yo, like I don't think the strat's good. He's like, hold on, it's all good, man. I'm just trying out strats. So he's like, I'm just cooking, bro. Don't don't hit me with facts here. I'm just trying stuff out. So yeah, he did a few U-puttings, and I think the Castle Age version was stronger. Viper's Feudal Age version was, to be honest, very, very weak. Like that's not good.
You did a fantastic job though, sending a villager out to find that second dungeon. If you didn't do that, and maybe you were a little bit distracted with the water battle or whatever, that could have maybe hurt you. But overall, really good defense by you. Yeah, since you got your scout trapped in,
Oh yeah, I was so frustrated with that one. I don't even know why he had a build there, but I mean, I guess well played. I did trap the scout in payback. I called it justice.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I will say a lot of people were hating on El Dorado. I don't know why. That is one of the highest skill maps I've ever played.
Great map. Yeah.
It's a great map. A lot of people say it's like cast in the middle, game is over. But if you watch the games, that is not how it plays out. It's actually a fantastic map. And I just want to say it's definitely probably the highest skill one of the tournament. That and Migration, actually.
Well, Hera,
I was very, very happy to play it.
Hera, you did also go undefeated, like 6-0 on El Dorado. So it's no surprise to me that you like it. But
maybe, fun.
That might be a part of it, right? But you also won on a lot of other maps as well, right? So that goes both ways, I guess.
I see it differently. The map is so good that I practiced it a lot, that I won on it a lot. It's like the map being good is like the step one, But anyways, it was nice.
Makes sense. I mean, from my position, I felt like Viper knew that he needed to have Japanese saved for Game 7, and he had already played Aztecs, so he didn't have that, which could have probably been an option. And so it was a good attempt. It was something, a high risk, high reward though. And like you said, you faced up against it, so you're able to get the job done. Well, again, congratulations, dude. It was a good series. Like I said, really makes me happy to see the preparation pay off, and you deserve it. So well played.
Thank you very much. I have just one last thing to say about the last map. Like if we went to Fractal, I had one last ACCM strat, and it was guard tower rush with Koreans and turtle ships in Castle Age to break the water on the side and kill all the fish.
That sounds sick, and I want to get excited about it. Listen, I want to get excited about it, Hera, but ACCM tried that against somebody and it didn't
We
look
saw
good.
that. Yeah.
It didn't look
I
good,
was about
dude.
to say, I've seen that before.
It didn't look
No,
good.
it was good. It was good. He did it when he got lamed. Trust, it's actually good.
Okay, so you wouldn't have gone
Yeah.
Portuguese? You would have gone Koreans?
I think I would have gone Koreans, yeah.
Ah, man, I wish the U pudding would have worked against you. No offense.
You
That was a
got
fun strat.
lulled in by ACCM Smile with that strat there, Hera.
I don't know, man. When I lose against it a couple times, I'm just like, I need to do that on myself.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, hey, I like
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for competing so well and playing so well and showing so many different strats. Hope you enjoyed it. One final question, I guess, because
Yeah.
you were in a position in group stage that you hadn't faced in the 2 previous seasons, right? You had like a really competitive group in Group C, and Andy was like the player that surprised a lot of people and kind of beat you early on. Like, do you feel the first 2 or 3 weeks, I guess particularly in that series, as a favorite who usually is going to like build up over time in terms of preparation and whatnot, do you feel like when you go into some of these games against some of the promoted players, like a difference in level that you would find that you wouldn't find in other instances? Or do you think it was just like kind of a one-off thing this season? Just curious.
I think like the first couple sets, I kind of came in with very little practice because I just
Sure.
haven't had time to like play on the sets. But what I did feel from Andy, actually, a lot of the viewers, and like rightfully so, they assess the situation based on results.
Sure.
It's a very result-based analysis. But for me, I like to get a feel of how they are when I play them. And what I felt from Andy was that he actually has a very good late game, probably because of his deathmatch background. So if there's props I can give to him, like whether it's preparation or whatnot, late game he has is very solid. And I think he just kind of relied on getting there with a little bit of laming against me, some like, some monk defensive kind of strat, which is, generally very strong right now. And then rely on his late game a little later, which I thought was pretty solid. Yeah, I don't know. I thought like a mix of some early game, like, early game strats plus a good late game kind of got him a lot of success in this tournament. Probably just had to, tighten up a few loose screws to be able to beat guys like Viper in the quarterfinals, but still a good result from him. And yeah, it's nice to see new players pulling some nice results for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. His macro is insane. It was like a lot of the all-in pushes, it ends there if it doesn't work. And he did a really good macro, and that'll be someone we'll talk about a lot when we eventually review the whole season. Well, Hera, thanks again. I don't know if Dave has anything else to say. I'll give Dave an opportunity here.
Good job, especially after the start to Titans League. I guess you were 4-2.
I lost one set, guys.
That's a big
I
deal, bro.
Dude, sorry, man. I let Reddit live in my head rent free.
I lost the set 2-1. It's the end of the world.
No, it was a good job, man. I love the fact that he beat you 4-1, and then the next season you come back and beat him 4-2. So now we've got both of you guys with a championship, and then Vinchester. Did Vinchester make it up this season again?
Nope.
Okay, so your competition is sitting in Gold League for next year. So
damn it. We got the me and Viper story lives on though.
Yep. Good job, man. Really, really well done.
Good stuff.
Both. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Hera. Appreciate it, man.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that's the end of the season. Dave, we cast a lot of TTL the last couple months. Thank you as well, dude.
Thanks for the tournament, bro.